My wife refused to stop tying my EMT boots. I ended up hurting her feelings. Yes, I know this title is bizarre, and I can't believe I'm actually writing this. My wife is a neat freak. Always has been. She throws notes on my desks out, assuming they're garbage. My belongings get rearranged to the point where it takes me hours to find them. It's something I have come to accept. I'm not happy about it, but we have a pretty happy marriage on the whole. By the way, this comes from Throwaway Shoes, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. Now, I am a volunteer EMT, and I keep my boots unlaced up against the wall next to my clothes hamper so that way I can throw them on along with my uniform if a call comes in during the middle of the night. Well, my wife has been taking to tying the boot laces when she sees them untied. Not only does she tie them, but she tightens them and double knots them to the point where I need to undo the knot, open up the boots, let a little slack out to fit my feet into them. I ignored it the first 2 times, but the third time she did it, I made a point to bring it up to her the next day. I very calmly said, "Hun, I appreciate that you want everything neat, but please do not touch my boots in the future. Time is of the essence when I'm going on a call, and at 2 a.m. in the morning, I don't have time to unlace them and open them up. It's not just a minor inconvenience, it's people's lives, so I would appreciate it if you let them alone." She rolled her eyes and said I was being dramatic and that she wouldn't help me out by keeping my things neat in the future. Well, she never stopped. No matter how many times I asked her, told her, begged her, she just laughs and says, "Well, you know how I am." The other night, a page went out for a CPR in progress. I went to throw my boots on, and they were, once again, tightened beyond recognition. So I'm sitting there on the edge of the bed, cursing, trying to get my boots open, and fumbling due to the stress of the situation. My wife opened her eyes groggily, looked at me, and said, "Don't you need to go on that call?" I slammed the boot into the ground and yelled, "Yes, I do. I would have been out the door 5 minutes ago, except some stupid mother effer effed with my goddamn boots again." My wife got up without another word, walked into the bathroom, and slammed the door. I got my boots open, went to the call. By the time we arrived, the police had gotten her back, so I didn't have to do CPR, but I was sweating and shaking, thinking the delay could have cost a life. I got home and my wife isn't talking to me. She ignored me the entire day until we finally sat down and talked. She said I had scared her with how angry I got, that she thought that I was going to harm her, and she didn't know I was capable of getting so angry. Note, I have never raised a hand to her, nor have I ever yelled at her before. I am absolutely not a violent person in any way, shape, or form. I apologized for yelling at her and acknowledged that I hadn't meant to snap at her. I was frustrated with the situation as I needed to get to the person in need of CPR as soon as possible, and it was a delay that didn't need to happen. I, once again, pleaded with her to not touch my boots because lives were literally on the line. She told me that if I was going to overreact and make her afraid, that she would never touch my boots again because she didn't want to live like that. Last night, before I got into the bed, I had a sinking feeling, so I went over and I checked my boots. I was very disappointed to find them tightened up again. So I decided to show her how it felt. I went over to her closet and pulled out her running shoes. I unlaced the both of them, removed them from the shoes completely, curled them each into a little coil, and put them inside the shoes and put them back and went to sleep. At 6:15, I was woken up by my wife screaming, "How could you? Why would you do this?" holding up both laceless shoes with tears in her eyes. My wife likes to go for an early morning run, and I knew she would want to go out the door as soon as possible. I smiled and said, "You know how I am. I just like things neat." She continued sobbing and walked out of the room. So by the time she was all laced up again, it was raining, so she missed out on her run. I actually feel pretty terrible about that because I really only wanted to delay her, not ruin her plans entirely. At this point, she's alternating between crying that I went out of my way to hurt her and ignoring my presence. I acknowledge that what I've done has been pretty childish and not at all constructive. I just don't know what to do. I mean, I do feel for OP in that, like, you tell, like you said before, you tell someone once, "Hey, this is a life or death thing. Please don't do this." Unless, again, there was the military sonic noise disruptor going off. Like, one would hope and pray that they would just get the message.
Yeah.
Right? Little Burb says cheater in chat.
I see a lot of people where it's like, oh, it's like she's trying to find a reason. She's trying to make him leave so that she doesn't get caught cheating or something.
Interesting.
OP's being like, I know this isn't like mature and it's childish, but it's like, you already did the mature thing. You've
like,
done all of the mature options and they did not work.
Like, I feel like he's kind of almost losing his mind a little bit because he's like, what can I possibly do to tell you that this is crazy? Okay, so she said through tears, "You admitted you were totally in the wrong for yelling yelling at me, and then you turned around and took it out on me in a different way. What is wrong with you? The problem is, to her, an apology means taking on 100% of the fault. When I apologized for blowing up, she took that to mean that she was 100% in the right and that my feelings were completely unjustified. So at this point, I haven't apologized for ruining her run because she'll take that to mean she wasn't wrong to touch my boots. I've tried to have these discussions, but it's in one ear, out the other. We have such good relationships otherwise, but I feel like this issue has reached a tipping point and it's going to continue to result in arguments until we resolve it. How do I make things right with my wife while still letting her know that I won't tolerate her disrespecting my property anymore? Quick edit. Wow, this blew up. I went through comments for 6 hours last night and it still have 1,800 to get through. I promise you I'm reading every one of your comments and I appreciate the advice. A couple of things to address that keep getting brought up. My wife has never been diagnosed as having OCD. As an EMT, I'm very careful about labeling someone as having a disorder as I don't have the proper qualifications to make that diagnosis. I do agree that it's time for her to see somebody and get a proper diagnosis and address these issues. My boots lace up in the front and zipper on the side. They're not a full unzip, but rather an unzip to open them a bit. The way my wife is tying them makes them impossible to get on even with the zipper down. They're weatherproof and great for standing on rough terrain or the highway after accidents. They're only about a year old and were actually a gift from my wife. I've not considered Velcro before, but I'm a bit hesitant to do that as I don't know if they wouldn't catch on things or wear out quicker. I tucked the laces in, but she still tied them up. This is a bit of compulsive behavior on my part. I don't leave my boots in the garage because my mother was a smoker growing up and that's where she would smoke. So I ended up with ashes in my shoes and having them reek of tobacco afterwards. So I developed a bit of a habit of wearing them into my home. If I leave them there, they're likely to get moved to someplace safe where it will take me even longer to find them. Putting the boots in the closet, she found them and tied them. Putting them under the bed or out of sight until they were found, tied, or moved to the closet. I honestly believe that a Foot Locker or any other kind of box would get moved to where I would have to wake her up to find it. If it's locked, then my keys would likely go missing. For some reason, sitting them on my dresser is not appropriate, but in the pocket of a jacket downstairs in the closet is. I am likely going to start putting my boots in the car, though I had to laugh at the people suggesting decoy boots. Gosh.
Dude, what are you talking about? That honestly sounds like the best suggestion I've heard so far.
Yeah.
Have the decoys ready to go.
But also like thinking about the ridiculousness of the scenario we've reached. You know what I mean? As much as it may seem like it, I'm not living in a spy versus spy cartoon. I am a volunteer EMT. We respond from home, to answer some of the chat comments I saw before too. We don't have sleeping quarters and I work the overnight shift, so I sleep during my shift, get out of bed when a call comes in, drive to the building and take an ambulance to the scene. This is typical of volunteer organizations. Paid EMS is more likely to have sleeping quarters or even require EMTs to be in the truck throughout their shift. Community-based EMS is more likely to take 911 calls and respond to emergencies, whether paid or volunteers. Private EMS is likely to take transport requests such as to and from dialysis or chemotherapy, as well as the hospital to nursing facility discharges. To those who have told me that I don't have the right to use the word life-saving on my dress uniform, I have pins for 3 defibrillator saves and 4 CPR saves. I've crawled into a car wreck to open someone's airway and bag them until we could get them out. While transporting a patient, I recognized signs of an internal injury and ordered we divert to a trauma center where he was put directly into emergency surgery that changed his life. Did I do those things entirely by myself?
Yes.
No, of course not. I would never claim that I was the sole reason someone lived. However, I am at my very basest level as vital a link in the chain of survival. So while I can't claim credit for any of the things that I've done, I would certainly put a lot of blame on myself if someone didn't live because of something I failed to do. I have a full-time job that I work 8 to 5, Monday to Friday outside of EMS. That is why I volunteer on the night shift. My wife works as a payroll manager for a mid-sized office. I earn about $10,000 a year more than her. We've been married for 2 years, and when I lived on my own before we were married, she didn't move into the apartment until we got engaged. So I think to her, that was my place, not ours, and she didn't really touch my things. I was with another EMS organization until we moved to a new town after our engagement. When we bought the house, I joined the local volunteer squad as an EMT. My wife regards my job as part of my identity, while she sees the EMS as something I volunteer to do. She would say, "This is my husband. He is job title, not this is my husband. husband, he is an EMT, and we have an update. I want to poll. Not if you think they should divorce or not, if you predict divorce or not. Are we predicting divorce or not? Are we predicting divorce or not? Dakota, I am curious what your predictions are.
I vote yes.
You vote yes?
I vote definitely divorce.
I think
That's
it
fair.
might take a lot for him to.
Well, I think he absorbs all the opinions of the internet, and they mostly go, hey, I think your wife needs like therapy if you guys are going to stay together. She needs to figure out how to be healthier about this stuff.
Yeah.
About that, learning that there's such a thing as a gray area, and that just saying sorry doesn't mean that you're just like fully, nothing you've ever done is wrong now because I said sorry.
Absolved. It's okay.
Yeah. I think she's going to go, no, what are you, a baby? And then he's going to go, okay, goodbye. Yep.
Yeah. So far, 82% of chat is saying that OP will divorce. But we got an update. Amen, brother. Here we go.
Let's go.
My wife and I started talking again. We had a very serious conversation, and I did apologize for what I did to her running shoes. Then I told her that I had to speak some truth, and I wanted her to promise me that she wasn't going to roll her eyes, interrupt me, scoff, or get sarcastic with me, which she did. I told her that I was not kidding about my boots, that while most of the time I caught geriatric transports, falls, nausea, there were other instances where response time was of the essence, and I didn't have time to play around with my boots in the middle of the night. I told her that there have been times where my intervention has been critical in saving a life, when my training has helped me recognize an underlying emergency, or when a call I made ensured that a patient was prioritized upon arrival at the hospital. I explained that a lot of crap I see I don't tell her about because I don't want to give her nightmares or make her worry about me. She actually listened and didn't dismiss what I had to say. She responded that she was trying to help by keeping things neat. I responded, but you're not. Sweetie, I'm not trying to be mean, but you're not helping. You're hindering me. One day it may be the difference between life and death. I need you to not touch my gear. It's where I know it is. It's where I can easily find it in a short amount of time. And if you move it, you're impeding an emergency process. I don't care if it looks neat. It serves a function. It doesn't look pretty. If you want to help me, please leave my gear where I put it. A few nights later, I had my friend Officer Rich come over. Officer Rich was one of the two cops that did CPR that night on the victim. The three of us sat on our deck, had a few social distancing beers. He talked about getting there, doing the CPR, giving Narcan, waiting for the ambulance, and getting her back shortly before we got there. He pulled out a few of the photos of car accidents that I had worked. He showed them to my wife and pointed out, this car went into a tree. Your husband crawled into the wreck, put a collar on the driver, and stayed in there while giving him oxygen until we could get him out. Dude. Oh, your husband pulled a 3-year-old out of this wreck.
I hope it's just ex-husband though. It's like this person, I don't care. There's certain things where it's like, if you don't get this, like I have no time in my life or my heart for you, dude.
Yeah.
If you don't get, like, don't touch my stuff because I'm trying to save lives, and you still do it, and then you're like, you're so overreacting. You yelled at me. I thought you were gonna kill me. It's like, all right, leave. Bye. Goodbye. Yelled at you. Okay. Bye.
Yeah, we even still in this, like, in the most, like, the best conversation they've had, quote unquote, that they've had so far, I feel like she's just like, oh, I just want to keep him neat. It's like, no, you're not listening. You're not, like, or at least you're not, like, acknowledging, anyways. So your husband recognized that the driver had a stroke and took her to a stroke center, which likely saved her life. After that, I told her I had something I wanted to show her, and I asked her for the same promise I'd asked for earlier. When she agreed, I showed her a video on YouTube of a police body cam from an OD. The video showed how critical time is in getting someone back and the training someone goes through in order to give someone that assistance. Do CPR and utilize a AED. I told her, I'm not trying to attack you. I don't want to have a fight, but I want you to understand what I go through, that I hope every call I go on is transporting a boo-boo, because otherwise it means that if I don't do everything right, someone could pass away. If I don't get out that door as quickly as possible, someone could suffer brain damage while they're waiting for me to give them oxygen. If I'm upset and shaking because I had to waste time opening my boots, I might miss something critical and someone might not make it. She acknowledged that she understood and told me that she hadn't really thought about the danger of what I had to do until the other night when she saw the photos of the wrecks.
Again, this is like, I've used this example before. I broke up with someone because they didn't know there were 2 world wars, but they knew about World War II. They knew that World War II existed, but they didn't know there were 2 world wars. And after that came to light, I said, I can't keep dating you. I can't. I didn't make it about that, but in my own head, I was like, oh my God, this is so over. I can't. And this is one of those moments where it's like, what did you think? You think we like rode around the neighborhood giving people candy and lollipops? Like what? What did you think the EMT did?
Well, and the thing is, he's already explained to her like, hey, this is life or death. He said it so many times. Like, oh man. So I told her that I think she has OCD and needs to see a therapist because it's hurting our marriage. I listed examples of her throwing important things out, moving things without permission, and messing with my gear. I offered to go together and said I'd be willing to work on things together. After I pointed out the pattern, she agreed that it was time to speak to someone. She wants to think about whether she wants to go together or go by herself, but she promised me that she's going to try to change her patterns. I brought up her saying she thought I was going to hit her, and she acknowledged that she'd been with guys who flew off the handle with little provocation and scared her. That she'd never seen me get that angry, and it triggered her because she didn't think I was capable of blowing up like that. Which I will give her that, like oh, you had this reaction and I was afraid. I totally get her that, but it's like all of the other things we need to address and acknowledge, and like truly like that's.
I would understand that way more if it was if it had nothing to do with her. Like it's her literally just being like poke, and then the most annoying thing I've straight up ever heard, which is after tying the boots over and over and over again, he's trying to go on that call and he's untying the boots like, God dang it. And she goes, shouldn't you be like going to that? Oh my God. I would have disintegrated actually. So, however, all this to say, I also really question her ability to be truthful based on what we're hearing.
Yeah.
Because she's saying a lot of stuff that is just actual nonsense.
I think you totally could be right. I think she might be just kind of giving maybe OP what he wants to hear in this moment or something like that. Also, Alina says trauma responses are so scary. I think I kind of view her response to that and this like in a vacuum a little bit. But it's like she just doesn't acknowledge it doesn't seem to me like she actually fully gets it. Now, she's been very emotional lately and has been going through mood swings. She's been worried about me going out on calls. The other day, she started crying and said, I hope you know how much I appreciate what you do. You know what I appreciate?
Oh, I have a feeling I do.
I appreciate the people. They go to Spotify, Apple, and iHeart and search OK Storytime and listen to it because it's there for your listening pleasure while you're doing the dishes. 2,000 episodes. It's a treasure trove of content that you literally would have to spend 54 days listening straight to. I wish other shows I listen to had 54 days straight of content that I could listen to.
You know, I think there's a conspiracy out there. We're up to 58.
Wow.
Regardless, is this really a divorce situation? Like, I can't say that because I'm not in it, but like, I think this is something that would fundamentally shift the way I look at my wife.
100%.
And I don't know if it'll ever go back.
I think like if I'm in OP's shoes, I'm like, oh, I literally can't communicate with this person because I'll literally say something and something very serious, and it'll just be complete, whether it's ignored, whether she doesn't understand, whatever the means of it not being received, she's not going to receive it, will be completely misaligned, and it's just going to cause all kinds of
right.
We still have a little bit of the story left. We'll see. Knock on wood. Since we've had the big talk, she hasn't touched my boots. Is everything resolved? Not by a long shot. That's what Opie actually said. But she seems to have a new appreciation for what I do. Thank you for all your responses. I wound up not showing her the thread because it was a lot of pretty harsh things towards her. I recognize I cherry-picked incidents that didn't put her in the best light, and there's a lot more to her in our marriage than that. She is the person I chose for the rest of my life, and I want us to work. Woo.
All right.
No divorce.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, dude.
Okay. But that's the end of that story.
That's it.
My wife demands I cut ties with my best friend. I don't want to.
I don't wanna.
No. There is a trigger warning for this story. There's mention of self-harm and miscarriage. You can't hear either of those. Please don't listen to this story. Callie and I have been friends for essentially our whole lives. We played together as children and we even had sleepovers as kids. She basically lived in my treehouse when her parents were going through a divorce, and when my cat passed away, she held me for hours while I cried.
Aww.
We were next door neighbors and we were roommates in college. She's been part of every major life event of mine, and I've been part of hers.
She's literally the girl next door. Don't get rid of her.
By the way, this comes from user I love them both, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, when I first met my wife, Callie was the one who I'd spend hours gushing about Lori to, and she quickly and easily embraced Lori. They've gotten along fantastically as far as I knew. When Callie met her husband, it was all very much the same. We welcomed him into our friend group and had a bunch of fun as a couple of couples. We went on vacations together, did little day trips in our area, went on hikes, and did other activities together. We had dinner with each other regularly. It was almost idyllic. Callie's husband, Chad, decided earlier this year to end his life.
Oh no.
That's awful. His passing shook us all, but obviously it shook Callie the most. It took my buddy, optimistic, generally upbeat best friend, and destroyed her. When she found out she was pregnant and then miscarried soon after, it destroyed her again.
Oh my gosh.
As her best friend and essentially brother, she leaned on me a lot. She leaned on my wife too, and Lori was happy to be there for her, but Callie leaned on me a bit harder. She's doing a lot better now, but she's not the same, and I don't think she'll ever be quite the same again, and that's understandable. I still love her immensely, and I'll always be here for her, which I've communicated to her. We still have lunch together almost every day, and we text frequently. I've never hidden any of our interactions from my wife, and have actually gone to her several times to discuss them because she gives amazing advice, and I want her input. However, Lori hit me with an ultimatum today. Either Callie goes or she goes.
Whoa.
She says that she can't handle knowing that I love another woman the way I love Callie. I tried to explain that I love Callie the same way I love my brother. There's no romance involved with my love for her, and there's no attraction at all on any level. I don't see her that way, and I don't have the capacity to because we grew up in such close proximity. We were over at each other's houses as kids all the time, and her mom even grounded me on more than one occasion. That's how close our families were. When they have like parental grounding rights,
Yeah.
that's essentially second mom, second dad, second fam.
family. Yeah. Exactly.
She said that she doesn't care that this choice is hurting me, and it's a choice that I need to make. She says that I need to decide if a life with Callie as my friend is more important than a life with her. And to me, this feels exactly like someone saying, pick me or your sister. Yeah, that's exactly what she's doing.
Yeah. Yeah. It literally is exactly what she's doing. There's no question at all.
Let's keep reading before we get our takes on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sitting here at a crossroads. She has given me 2 days to grapple with this and make my choice, and I honestly don't know how to handle this. I don't want to lose either of them because I love them both in such different ways. Callie is essentially my sister, and my wife is, well, my wife. Lori is the love of my life, and I'd be destroyed if I lost her. On the other hand, Callie is a lifelong friend, and losing her would wreck me too. I feel like I'm in an unfair situation. I've never spent time with Callie that my wife wasn't aware of, and she's encouraged me to go spend time with her when I was more apt to just stay home with Lori. She's told me over and over again that she's proud of me for being so good to Callie, and that seeing this proves to her that I'm a good man because I don't just treat my wife well, I treat everyone in my life well. Lori is currently upset that I'm even needing to think about this and has gone to the guest room. I've been instructed to leave her alone until I decide. This feels like it's coming out of nowhere. It feels manipulative and hurtful, and I'm frozen due to the shock and the pain of the situation. How do I even begin to digest this situation? What would you do? Is my wife being unreasonable, or am I? Are we both? Is there a middle ground that an outsider can see that I can't? Is there more to this? Is there something wrong with me that I didn't immediately choose my wife and I actually have to deeply think this through? And there are some comments, and oh boy, I can't wait to read them. What's your
Wow.
suspicions? I have suspicions.
I just don't know. I mean, I feel like I could see it happening with that comment about being like, oh, like you're so good to her. I'm so glad. I could see it being like, okay, maybe at first it was always weird, but she was kind of trying not to be that jealous type and trying to be like, you know what? No, it's actually good that he's like, you know, being good to these people.
Uh-huh.
And she's like telling herself that, and maybe that's just not lasting that much. And maybe now she's back to being like, oh, actually, I am uncomfortable. I don't know, but what are your suspicions?
My suspicion is cheating.
Is that Callie is cheating?
Is that
or
his
the,
wife?
The wife.
Wife is cheating because
Ooh.
in situations, a lot of times when we read where someone goes like, it's like this is so out of nowhere and it came out of left field. It's like
Yeah.
someone who's cheating and is now
Ooh.
like they're feeling so guilty about it. They're like
Yeah.
now they're trying to find a way to blow up the relationship without having to come forward and admit that they cheated.
Whoa.
But let's see what the comments have to say. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We're not even halfway through the story. Comments, I love Callie the same way I love my brother. OP, I think you and your wife should consider couples counseling to get the air cleared about some things. I believe what you say about your feelings for Callie, and I also believe what you say about how supportive your wife has been for you being there for your friend. But what may have happened is she looked up one day and realized Callie was getting a lot more support and attention from you than she was, and she panicked. Yes, I panicked. OP, can you honestly say that if your brother's wife unalived herself, that you would spend months giving him the same level or method of attention and support and time that you're giving Callie? Or would you be encouraging your brother in a different manner than you are Callie? Think carefully about this.
Interesting.
I don't understand what that really has to do with anything because that's a completely different dynamic. It's like, of course, you wouldn't care for your brother the same way you'd care for your childhood best friend.
Right.
Like, they're just going to be different.
Or like a brother and a sister even. Like even that dynamic can be different.
They're just different situations.
Yeah.
OP replies to this. Callie is in therapy, which I helped her find. And honestly, yes, I would support my brother in that same way. I would listen as he talked about what he's feeling. I'd tell him he's not alone. I'd drive him to his therapy sessions when he needed me to. Or I'd call him a cab if I wasn't able to. I'd make a point of going over with dinner early on because when you're grieving like that, extra food being around can help. And in the coming months, I'd send him gifts that I knew would brighten his mood. I would keep up our existing routine and give him a little extra support when needed, even if all that is just being there. It's not that hard to show a friend some compassion when they need it. She's not really getting more time or attention than she did previously, with small exceptions that my wife was actively involved in, either by supporting my choice to be there for her or by telling me to go check on or spend time with her. So when we text, most of the time it's me sending silly cat gifts and her venting about work or telling me how therapy's going. I should have mentioned in my post that our lunches aren't new and not a result of Chad's passing. They've been long-standing for years. We eat our lunches on our lunch breaks together. I don't see how this is scandalous or something to be panicked by. Reply, OP, I totally see where you're coming from with all this. However, I also think it's really telling and pretty bad that you refuse to even listen to anyone trying to explain your wife's point of view. All of your responses here are extremely defensive of how you act with Callie, and you don't seem even slightly willing to consider that you should reflect on your behavior or consider how your wife might be feeling. I don't think his wife ever told her how she was feeling until she literally just laid an ultimatum on him, though.
Yeah, at least from how we are seeing it in this Reddit post, that really is how it feels.
She did a 180 out of nowhere. Like, it's not like, you can understand the wife's perspective, but she's not at all going about this in a healthy way when you're married to somebody.
Right. Like, it would probably still be good to consider like how she could be feeling from it, but it makes sense that he would be going to the defense if this is literally like, if this is the problem, then yeah, I would, or if she is saying that this is the problem, then I would understand being defensive and be like, no, this actually isn't a problem. This is fine.
If you just take away the ultimatum, this is a very fixable issue.
Yeah.
But it's like, you can't just be like, well, you have 2 days to pick between the two most important people in your life.
Right. It's like, whoa.
Yeah. And it's all on you. This is your fault.
Right.
I think you need to look at how much you're supporting your wife compared to Callie. Would you cancel on your wife to see Callie if she asked? Would you cancel on Callie to see your wife? If they both needed you, who would you go to first? Roughly, how much of your time do you spend with Callie compared to your wife? Things like that. OP replies, no, I wouldn't cancel on my wife if Callie asked. That situation has come up, so I can say with confidence how I would and did respond. It was fairly early on when she was first in therapy. She asked if I could take her to and from, but it fell on a day when my wife and I were going on a day trip. Instead, I arranged an alternative ride for her and spent the day with my wife. I would cancel things with Callie to spend time with my wife, and if they both needed me, obviously, I would go to my wife first. With as much support as I've been giving Callie, I've tried very hard to make sure that it hasn't impacted things at home. I've tried to make sure that my wife didn't feel neglected, and I'm honestly puzzled as to why she would feel that way when I've gone out of my way to not make her feel that way, and have included her in everything involving all of this, regularly asking if she was okay with everything and hearing nothing but a resounding yes. Am I not supposed to take my wife at her word? Her feeling neglected or threatened or anything else is honestly news to me. You have been asking your wife for all of this time if she was okay with this arrangement. Just now, she has said no. You need to accept her answer instead of insisting she is being irrational. You're puzzled by how she feels. Ask her why. Ask her what changed. If nothing else, see if you can compromise. Hanging out with Callie once a week instead of every day. No texting during dinner or after 9 p.m. Ultimatums are very serious things. Something is different if Lori is insisting you completely cut your friend off. Do not make the mistake of assuming your wife is just being irrational. Do not take her accepting you're devoting so much time indefinitely to another woman for granted. Edit to add, I'm getting a lot of replies regarding Lori not wanting to talk about it. Just an answer. This is a marriage, not a returned phone call from across the country. Go tell her you choose her because you married her. Then over dinner or tomorrow or the next day, ask her what the heck? You can change your mind if she truly has no rational reason and doesn't want to see a mediator. This is not Final Jeopardy. Your answer is not locked in. Your job is to figure out what the heck is going on. And there is an update.
Okay. Wow.
I wouldn't necessarily say it's his job to figure out what's going on. I think maybe it's all of our collective jobs to explain to people what we are feeling when it's relevant to them. Which is not always easy. Lori has every right in the world to feel however she feels about her husband's relationship and dynamic with Callie.
Yep.
She has every right to feel that way.
Sure.
But like, you should go about it in a way that is better than just saying, ultimatum, me or her, 2 days. You have 48 hours to respond.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
I can't understand. If we take it from her perspective for a second, if we play devil's advocate for a minute, and think like, okay, if nothing crazy is going on Lori's side, if she really is just having these fears and uncomforts or whatever, then if she brought this up and then he immediately was like, oh, no, like, look, this is fine. I could kind of see it being like, okay, well, why are you so defensive about it? But at the same time, as I'm saying that, I feel like it's still such an exaggerated thing. Like, I feel like his reaction is so extreme because she brought it up in such an extreme way with the ultimatum, you know? So it's like, it makes sense why he's not necessarily calm about this, because she literally was just like, me or her, done. That's all you're getting. Yep. You know? So I couldn't even play devil's advocate.
Which that's not a conversation. That's a demand. You're making a demand of him. It's not a back and forth.
Absolutely.
It's just a choose your character.
Yeah.
But we do have an update.
All right.
So let's hopefully see we got some more info in here.
Hopefully.
In my anger and pain and needing to reach out to someone, I left out a lot of details that explained my position and feelings towards my wife's actions. I felt that she was being patently unreasonable because of all the things that I had given and done for our relationship, none of which I informed you of because they weren't in the forefront of my mind at the time. I'd like to give a more whole picture before moving forward with my update. My wife and I have been together for 8 years and married for 5. We got together very young and she was the second person I had ever dated. I was her third. Over the course of our relationship, I've sacrificed a lot of little things, as anyone does and should in a relationship. It's all about compromise and meeting the other person halfway. I get that. And I understand that. However, that has not been the case for my relationship with Lori. She always gets her way. I'm not using hyperbole. She does. She always gets her way. When I was given the opportunity to move abroad to my dream city for an amazing job that would have afforded us both better lifestyles, she put her foot down and said that I could go, but she would be staying here and we'd be over. She wanted to stay close to her own family and social network. I said, fair enough, and we stayed.
See, another thing that could be a conversation. It doesn't have to be an ultimatum. She really loves her ultimatums.
Buddy, here's where I'm getting the biggest red flag. She was the second person you ever dated when you married her?
I didn't even notice that.
That would be the equivalent of me marrying like my 5th grade girlfriend.
You want to think some more.
Like,
do some growing up before you do that.
What are we talking about? You gotta get a little more experience under the belt.
Yeah.
Before you commit to being with someone for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You don't even know what you want or who you like or who's even out there. Buddy, this sounds patently toxic.
Yeah.
Before we married, she asked me to stop seeing most of my male friends because she thought they were bad influences. So we're just going to go through a parade of red flags now. Let's go.
Yeah.
At the time, she didn't give any reasons, and I didn't question it because I trusted her judgment and ultimately wanted to put her comfort first. When we bought our bed, she got the one she wanted because I put her comfort level first, even though I have a more demanding occupation and arguably need better rest. It's too soft for my comfort. I tend to need a firm bed, otherwise I'm a bit achy. She doesn't like Chinese takeout, so we don't get it. She hates cheese on pizza, so we never have any cheese on pizza. She bans Game of Thrones and South Park from the house purely because she doesn't like either. It's just, this is the same energy of someone being like, well, I'm vegan, so no one at Thanksgiving's allowed to eat anything that's not vegan.
Yeah, at Thanksgiving.
You're the most insufferable person. So those are banned, and my complaints about the Kardashians fall on deaf ears. She wanted the blue china, I wanted the red. Guess which one we bought? The list goes on and on.
Oh, man.
I had pneumonia last year, and it got to the point where I had to be hospitalized. Lori refused to visit me or even bring me a blanket from home because it infringed on plans she had with her friends and family.
Oh my gosh.
I would understand work obligations, but it was purely social. People made the assumption that Lori only spends time with her friends because I spend time with Callie, and that's rather laughable, but any evidence to the contrary becomes he said, she said finger pointing. I don't believe that this is the case. Lori has always had a very active social life and made it clear to me when we were engaged that it wasn't going to change when we got married. And I agreed to that. We had many long talks about how children aren't something either of us want, and she got a tubal ligation and I got a vasectomy. During this talk about social life and priorities as a married couple, we agreed that instead of our lives being devoted to children, we would spend them doing things that we enjoy, both together and independently. We both agreed that realistically, friendships would become less important over the years as children came into play for our friends. Now, people were very critical of the amount of time I spend with Lori. She has never once told me she felt that she needed more one-on-one time with me. In some cases, it's been the opposite. She's told me she's felt like I'm around too much. As it is, we spend at least 4 hours one-on-one together per day. We hire a cleaner, so the only chores we really have are cooking. We don't consider cooking to be a chore, and for us, preparing our meals does count as quality time. We also spend time cuddled up watching movies, reading books, and playing board games. What I'm trying to get at here is that our time together is recreational and relaxing, not spending the day near each other doing chores. That's not how our life functions. I go over to Callie's on the weekends for an hour or two, and she comes over here during the week for an hour. That's normal for us. Sometimes I go over for an additional visit, or she comes over here for an additional one. It works out to seeing each other 3 to 4 times a week normally, but there are times when neither of our schedules mesh and we only see each other at lunch. Lori often comes over to Callie's with me and leaves at the halfway point so that we can watch the latest Game of Thrones episode or play a game that my wife wouldn't enjoy. Lori has never communicated, and she has had plenty of opportunities to, that she wasn't okay with this. We have a similar setup with some of her close friends. As for my going overboard for Callie, I'm still not really sure how giving her a ride once and calling an Uber for her once when I canceled on her is somehow unreasonable. Lori is the one who suggested I call her an Uber, by the way. She said it was the gentlemanly thing to do. Lori is also a huge proponent of being kind to people that you care about. She's given, not loaned, literally thousands of dollars to her friends over the course of our relationship. She's bought plane tickets for her friends, driven them across the country in more than one case. She's brought some of them to live with us temporarily in more than one instance. All of this without asking me. I wouldn't have said no, but she still should have asked me. What I'm getting at here is that given the context of what she does for the people in her life, calling a cab and spending less than $5 in gas money shouldn't be considered unreasonable. I think I've clarified a lot, but if anyone has further questions, I'm willing to answer them. And now here is the update.
Oh gosh, that wasn't even the update yet.
You know, I think it's maybe curtains for this relationship, and it probably should be.
I agree.
You're going to be blown away when you meet women who don't feel the need to exercise control over every single decision.
Yeah, they do exist, I promise.
There's one.
Hi.
Hi.
What's
She's
up?
sitting here in your screen.
And I'm not the only one, trust me.
She's not. Lori came out of the guest room early this morning and woke me up because she wanted to talk. She apologized for shutting herself in and shutting down instead of engaging me in a conversation. She admitted that I deserve at least a conversation. It was a blur and so many things were discussed, so I'm not even going to try to give a play-by-play. Lori broke down and cried, and I held her as we talked. I tried to be as supportive as I could because she seemed to be in a lot of pain. I was glad to be there for her. What it boiled down to is that Lori had been seeing Chad behind my and Callie's back for 4 years.
What? You called it. You literally called it from the beginning.
That's what it, when they do a 180 out of the blue.
Yeah.
It's always because they're up to some funny business.
It's honestly so crazy how similar all of these stories are. Like, this is always what happens. And it's not even like we're just making it up or just like, you know, generalizing. This is literally in all of these stories where someone's randomly accusing you of cheating or being controlling or thinking cheating is going on. It's because they are cheating.
100.
It is so crazy.
Near 100. 90 something.
Oh my gosh.
Very, very common.
Oh, and it's so much more complicated than it was with Chad, though.
Yes, that is incredibly complex.
Yes.
She had said that I was the safer bet for her, and she settled for me knowing I was a better husband, but she was in love with him. She's felt guilty for his because it happened after a fight they had.
Oh my gosh. Oh, you can't blame yourself for that, though. You
no,
can't.
it's just it's too complicated.
Too complicated.
He wanted to come clean with us. He wanted a divorce, and Lori didn't. She said that he told her he'd rather be passed away than keep up the lie.
Oh.
She feels directly responsible for his self-harm, and every time she sees Callie, she feels the guilt and pain all over again, and she can't handle
it. Oh my gosh. This is a much crazier story than I thought we were getting into.
Sorry, I would have had more to add, but I just read the next line.
Oh gosh.
Which is, she wanted me to end my friendship with Callie so that she didn't have to deal with her emotions.
And this probably makes more sense why she was like, you're giving her too much attention on this and not me, because he didn't realize how much she was hurting because of this tragedy. But he wouldn't have known.
She also couldn't come out and say that because she's like, well, this also was really hurting me because I loved him and was cheating on you with him.
Because I was thinking that earlier. I was like, but wouldn't it make sense that Callie would need more attention? Like, I don't know. I don't get why the wife would need that much attention in this situation. But now we have our answers.
Segue. By the way, you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search OK Storytime.
Search it.
There is a little bit more story here.
Wow.
Let's just go ahead and dig into it, folks. Don't cheat on your partners.
Don't.
I don't know where things stand with us right now. This is another huge bombshell. I don't think that this is going to be good for us, though. Brother, I don't think you should be married. This is over. Relationship over territory is where you are at, undeniably. Yeah. She agreed to counseling with me and is currently moving out of the house and in with her best friend, Susan, for the time being while we sort all of this out. We've made an appointment for a marriage counselor for early next week, and I am looking into a lawyer just in case. Thank you to everyone who posted their advice. I'm posting this because there was a surprising amount of people who wanted me to update, so here it is. I don't really have any more questions other than, is this even worth salvaging? No. In no universe is this a salvage situation, unless it was a car accident, because that car is now on a salvage title because it's totaled. Niche insurance jokes. But none of you can answer that. Yes, we can, brother. I'm sorry. That's why you posted this on the internet, so you could get people's opinions from outside of your own life as a third party.
True.
And tell you yes or no. And I'm telling you no.
I found my wife's spicy photo with a male model.
Sounds like it's time to move on.
Oh, goodness. Well, this is such a complicated issue, so I will do my best to make it complete but short. My wife is great friends with one of our city's high-end wedding photographers named Gina, 60s or so. She is supremely talented and also a nice person. We've gotten huge discounts on everything from wedding to baby family pictures. By the way, this comes from Mike12, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So my wife recently lost all her baby weight and became really fit by following a low-carb diet and doing a natural movement workout plan.
How natural is this?
It is hunting and foraging. We find, we hunt, we pick, we eat.
Ah, yes. Ooh.
That's your dream diet right there.
It really is.
Am I wrong?
Anything you can find outside and you can actually eat it. Dude, you know how many squirrels I'd be eating? There's so many squirrels around here.
Dang.
No, Riley, you can't touch them.
That's correct. Go back home for that. Gina asked her to come to do a boudoir shoot for her so she could put my wife's pictures on her website as an example of a fit and sexy mom. And by the way, a boudoir shoot is kind of like
It's like a saloon photo shoot, you know.
Something you would do with your mom. I've seen so many people do it with their moms. They're like, oh my gosh, me and my mom just do this. Look. I'm like, oh, that's fun.
We had many, many discussions, and I was all for it right from the beginning because it's hot. My wife was worried about employers, friends, and family seeing them, but eventually she figured she'd worked hard, there would be no nudity, and what the heck, why not? It's very important to know that we talked about this nightly for at least a week and went over everything eventually, and I thought everything was on the table.
Everyone's saying no, you don't do it with your mom.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it's I don't think this is like a fun little cowboy shoot. I think this is a more risque.
Yeah, what is that then? Because I see they're like the cowboy shoots, and then the mom has like
That's
like,
so different, my guy.
What is it called?
That's a totally different thing.
Well, that's what's
That's
in my
maybe
head.
a saloon photo or
Yeah.
something. I don't know.
It's like,
It's a salute.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if the official name of it, but yeah, I think this is a little more
Okay.
risque.
Don't do this with your mom.
Yes,
Don't.
not the move, ladies and gentlemen. So the pictures are stunning. Gina hired a spectacular makeup artist, and my wife looks like a supermodel. I mean, they are spectacular pictures, minimal Photoshop too. When the pics went up on the site, Gina sent me a very classy hardbound book of the pictures with a note. Thank you for being so cool with this. It's one of my favorite things I've ever done. That's a very sweet, thoughtful touch.
And I wish it would end here.
Oh no, Riley, the story is not even 10% over. We have literally so much left to go.
He's gonna like open the next page. It's gonna be like, man, doing whatever.
here, I'll find you guys an example to give you guys.
Can you show everyone or just us? Okay, we're about to get pictures of what this is. Everyone. Like we all don't. I've never seen anything like this before.
I've never heard of boudoir shoot in my life.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
That's as safe as you can get.
I'm a little bothered looking at it, honestly.
Exactly.
This is not a,
Should you take that away? Yeah, that, oh,
not to do
sorry-
with your mom.
sorry,
That's
Lord, and sorry,
yeah.
Angie.
PSA. Please no.
He put it on there. Everyone tell Angie. He put it on there.
Okay, so getting back to the story here. Important to note on the timeline here, pics were taken in May. Pics went on the website in late June. I got the book this week. My wife is out of town with the baby to visit her mom and dad. Late Wednesday, I got an email from Gina, which basically said, Happy 4th of July. I wanted you to go through these digital proofs to see if there's any others you'd like. It was actually a link to a secure site where I have a username and password. So I logged in and all of the first series of pictures were variations on ones I'd already seen. Lingerie implied nude, gym wear, and the like, as we now know. Then it got into a series of full nude pics, which I was like, awesome. Why didn't these make it into my book? And when I clicked on the next page, I can clearly see that in the thumbnails, there were two other people there. I opened one, and it's my wife in a sort of embrace that looked like the cover of a romance novel. This guy looked like a model and was super ripped. So basically, it seems like I think they're both naked, and it's a, strong, muscular man, and she's like, oh my goodness, hello. And he's like, what's up, baby girl? I got you.
And it's good enough to be in front of a romance novel.
That's what Fabio. Like, we're dealing with a straight Fabio type situation over here.
Dude. And she did not tell hubby about this?
It was not explicit. It was like, hey, there's going to be shoot. It's boudoir. It's like, risque or whatever.
Okay.
He got photos. He did not get this photo.
Hot take. Cheating.
Cheating? I don't know. I think this is just listen,
I'll
Riley.
explain it more.
You live in
This
LA.
is cheating.
There's some people that be doing some dances and body shoots
I
and-
agree.
Yeah.
The perception of this, if I saw this, let's say like, whatever, I see this on a romance novel, I'm like, oh, that's my friend, and that's not her boyfriend. That's crazy. That looks different because like that just perceives as like she's not with her partner. Also, in the context, like, why did she not tell this to hubby?
That's, I think, the issue that's the big ICU I think we're about to get into is like, hey, there was all of this communication and all this stuff. Why was this photo A, not like giving me the heads up before the shoot?
Yeah.
And B, why didn't I know about it after the shoot?
and then hiding it.
You know, it seems like
the
it was.
perception just looks really off.
Yeah,
dump
dump
really bad.
all of the evidence except the one that you don't want. That's what it seems like, but we're going to see. So with these, I was like, okay, but with all the discussions we had, why didn't she say there was going to be a guy there? I'd say that the series is 50 pictures long, with each one getting more and more risque. My wife ends up going from a business-like suit to just her panties. The guy has his underwear on in all of them, so it wasn't both nude, just to be clear. He's laying on top of her to look like he's kissing her neck. His hands are definitely on her front airbags. Oh man. He's holding her from behind with his hand just out of shot, and it's implied that he's touching her crotch.
Okay, I would
That's
like
tough.
a poll. I would like a poll. After hearing more, John, where are you?
I mean, this is definitely like you needed explicit consent and like, yo, this is what's going to happen before you go into it. This is too far.
I feel like it's a form of cheating, not break up cheating. But it is a form
I
of
see what you're saying. You're saying, at first I thought you were saying like, oh, she's like hooking up with this guy like on the side.
No.
You're saying that this kind of thing is cheating?
Yeah, it's like a mistrust. Like, I am going to have a hard time trusting you now. Cheating's like here. And then this is like here level of trust. What if your girlfriend did this?
I like personally, would I want my girlfriend doing this? Absolutely not.
What if she did do this and not tell you about it? Wouldn't you feel like it's cheating?
I wouldn't call it, I don't know if cheating is the right word or the word I would use here, but it is like, think about actors. Actors literally like hook up.
Well, yeah, but that's like, hey, babe, I just got this movie. There's a spicy sleep scene.
That's and I think that's the difference where it's like, at least it's like, well, and like the actors obviously fully know, and I'm sure it's a conversation. And like, if you marry an actor, it's like,
you kind of know what you're signing yourself up for.
Honestly, I've always been like, dude, how do actors and actors partners do that? Like, I don't know how they could do that.
The best example of that was 50 Shades. Like the main actor, his wife hated it. She like legit hated it.
Yeah.
Like I saw like a thing where she's like, okay, maybe I'll like, we talked about it. I was okay with it. And then she saw the first film and she's like, well, that was a lot. And I didn't like that.
Yeah, 100%. We also have a poll up, cheating or nah, that Keon just put up. Yeah, I don't know. Keon, what do you think? What's your vote? I know it's
Carly did this. Carly did this. What would you do?
If Carly asked me and told me like all like, hey, this and this is gonna happen, I will have to do a shoot with this person, I would have to meet the person first. Like, I would meet this guy, like, what's his notion? If it's just professional work, still iffy.
Yes.
I'm still very iffy. If she did it behind my back, I'm upset. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm upset, and I think I would be like, hey, I'm not comfortable with this. You know, what do you think?
I got some people on my side.
All
I
right.
see Josephine. Okay.
Cheating is growing. We're gonna see. We're gonna get back into the
go.
story. We might get more details too. So that might grow your cheating guy. But guys, if your vote is cheat, comment below why.
Yes.
Let us know.
Yes.
Riley is trying to rally his troops.
Yeah.
Okay. So by far the worst is the very last picture, where it's just a picture of her butt with his face and the top of her thong in his teeth, sort of pulling it away from her body. I looked at the pictures absolutely stunned for 30 minutes. 30 minutes. That's tough, dude. I emailed Gina, the photographer, saying basically, Gina, what is this? This is way more than I thought it was going to be. She has not replied, and I tried to log back in, and my password has been changed. Okay, now it seems like a cover-up. Gina won't send me another one. So I tried to call my wife, but she hasn't answered and says she's too busy to talk. I texted, I had questions and about what went on the photo shoot, and she replied at first, sexiness. You like it sexy? I don't think he likes it.
Hot take. Don't think he likes it.
I don't think he likes it. Now she's not responding at all. So my guess is Gina told her about the slip up and she doesn't know what to tell me. So
she's not communicating either.
She's
bro, come on.
She's trying to. It seems like a coerced attempt to.
It's like so bad.
Yeah, I'm lost. Like literally lost. My wife had so many chances to tell me that was the plan. If it was that all along, I don't even think I would have said an outright no, but just asked for some boundaries, like don't have the guy's lips near your butt or second base. If my wife didn't know and Gina sprung this on her, why didn't she say no or even enforce her own boundaries? It looks like she was having a great time in the pics. If these are the ones Gina accidentally sent me, are there more? Do they get like literal hardcore? My wife is probably panicking as well right now, as I assume Gina is. Neither will speak with me. Wife comes home Sunday morning. How do I even begin to have this conversation with her? What do I say when I see her? And we have an update.
Should we do a new poll?
Yeah, so what's the poll right now? Riley really wants to break it. So the poll right now is 31% cheating, 69% nah. For Riley, we will do another poll. I will say, Denise in the chat says it's soft corn. This absolutely is soft corn.
Yeah, dude.
I would say this is soft corn. So
You want the same poll, Riley?
yeah.
let's see if Riley can get it this time around, guys. This is like,
Let's go.
it's like we're running for office.
Yeah.
I'm team nah, your team cheating.
This is you're still on nah.
I think like
Lips on butt.
it could be, here's what it is: squares and rectangles.
Okay.
What is it? A square is always a rectangle, but a rectangle is not always a square.
Sorry, squares and rectangles. I thought you said circles for a second. Oh my god. Yes, squares and
Yeah.
rectangle. Yes, you're right.
I mean, like, is this something I would want my girlfriend doing? Absolutely not. Is this soft corn? Absolutely yes. Did she break his trust and now she's hiding it? And is it bad? Absolutely yes. And right now, Riley has officially won the vote.
We're winning.
Cheating for president. Cheating has won by 62%, at least as of right now.
Yeah, it's just messed up. It like
Yeah.
hiding it and then not wanting to talk about it. It's a form of cheating. It's not like a form of cheating where you can't come back from this, but a lot of trust is going to have to be reworked
Yeah.
in order to be okay.
Yeah, I think like, and chat might flame me for this, but I think about like an emotional affair where there's no spiciness involved, but where they've basically checked out on your relationship. They've fully emotionally invested in the other person and they like want to get with them. Like, I don't know if I'd say that's worse. I don't know if it's productive to compare them, but like that I would definitely consider like emotional cheating, right? Where it's like, I don't know. Honestly, I'm definitely more torn. You might win me by the end of this episode.
We got a long ways to go.
Keon, have you been swayed one way or the other?
I'm still indifferent. I still need to see what's going on.
No, you can't be indifferent.
Not on if you would like give the thumbs up to do it, but if you're in OP's position now, like seeing it after the fact, do you think this falls in the cheating category, or is it more in the like lying or trust?
I'm still like, I feel like it's not the cheating. Like I'm still not on board with cheating just yet because it's tasteful. Like that is again. Like that's the line of work that you sign up for.
Yeah,
if you're
there are
doing that
corn
stuff.
stars.
Yeah,
that are married that do that.
they're
but they've had a conversation. And
their partners are on board.
Set.
Exactly. The whole big red flag here is like, not only did they not tell them, but now it seems they're intentionally didn't tell them and are totally trying to cover it up.
MJ Grove, not cheating, but keeping secrets like that is definitely not okay. A little bit down. Sorry. Keep going down. Okay, right here. Red Bull Rana says, why the deliberate hit this? Because she knew her husband would not be okay with this. Also, go down a little bit more.
Yeah.
And someone
sure.
else said, Snorting Catnip says, remember they spent a week every night talking about it and she did not bring it up once.
I mean, again, she's in the wrong here. Like in my opinion, there's like no questionable doubt that she is absolutely in the wrong with what she did.
Again, it could be it's the potential that maybe the photographer brought the model in. Like we don't know.
That she sprung it on her and the wife again, like OP said, she should have like spoken up and said like, hey, I'm not comfortable with this. But also like her like springing the model on and like I don't know, maybe the model did that and he didn't ask. I don't know. But either way, like the one thing I think we can all for sure agree upon is a wife is absolutely in the wrong here and is like trying to cover it up. It's a breach of trust. All of that jazz. This is an interesting discussion. This is a really good topic.
I'm interested in hearing what her justification.
I want to hear what she says first until I put my eggs in one specific basket.
Well, we've got an update, boys and girls.
All right.
Let's go. So I've been getting tons of different advice on the last post, so I guess I will make this one as well and may get ripped apart. Anyways, so I've been sweating this since I first saw the pictures I wasn't supposed to see on Wednesday. Almost zero contact with my wife. We're not sure how far out, but I'm guessing at least a day maybe, which is crazy. Part of this was she was busy. Part of it was because they were at a lake. And part of it, she admits now, was because she was avoiding the conversation.
Wait, who's they?
Good question. I don't know. She was busy at a lake.
With who?
That's the question. Hopefully we get that answer too. So wife decided to come home early. So 3 hours or so ago now, I got a call from her saying, I'm on the way home. We have a lot of talking to do. Can you please get us Jimmy John's because I'm not stopping to eat and I'm already starving. I was like, seriously, what the F? But avoided the temptation to get into it with her on the phone, which I'm glad I did that. I got her sandwich. She got home an hour later and we put our son to bed and then got into it. as best as I can. This is her side of the story. We're getting the other side of the coin here, playing back the episode with the other character. So, Gina, again the photographer, had mentioned that if my wife was interested, she would love to see how the shoot with another friend of hers who was a guy went. Wife, her name is Nikki, said that she was not at all interested because she was nervous enough about the boudoir and fitness gear. She arrived, had a glass of white wine, relaxed, did the makeup. She had a great time during the shoot. My wife, Nikki, is the one who suggested that she would like to do the full nude stuff. Let me just triple check. Yeah, wife. Okay, yeah. Yep. So they did that. It went really well. And the conversation came up that maybe she'd like to try shooting with the male model. Nikki swears to me that he was not present, but Gina was able to call him and he was able to be there in an hour. Nikki says it was a huge mistake not to call me, but she said she was so in the moment that she didn't consider all of the ramifications. Yeah.
That's... there was alcohol involved.
I mean, I think for sure, the biggest failure is on the wife's part because it's your relationship, it's your responsibility to like think of and communicate these things. Failure on Gina's part because I'm like, dude, why are you? It was already this, like, Gina knows the communication that went into it. Like, you think he would just like automatically opt in without checking in with him at all about it? Like,
had bro on call too. She was like, I'm not interested in that.
Yeah.
Also had him on call, ready to go. He was there within the hour?
Yeah.
Within the hour?
That's, yeah,
I don't like this.
This is fishy. So the dude shows up. He's 22, 6'3", amazing build, blah, blah, blah.
Nice.
Nice. But my wife, Nikki, says he was an absolute professional, so much so that all the fun she was having with the solo stuff went out the window because the guy was literally like just a living mannequin. When she was shooting solo, there was dancing, laughing, jokes. But with the guy, it was just like, put your hand here, hold, repeat. I said I saw one of the pictures and it didn't look like that at all. She said that there were probably also a few hundred of her looking absolutely terrified and ashamed that didn't make it to the proofs. At this point, I demanded to see all of the pictures. Nikki logged into the secure site and there they were, 10 or so more past the original 50. Basically, it was like a sequence from the guy pulling the underwear off with his teeth to her turning over, spreading her legs. Oh no. And ending the shoot with both of them on the side looking like he was taking her in the missionary position.
Yay. That's what you wanted to see. Why are we asking for more photos? This is already bad, bro.
Yeah, this is so, because like we've had all these like cheating stories, right? Here's the question, right? Is it better the cheating stories where they just hear about it, or this guy who's like, they're not literally hooking up, but it fully looks like it?
Oh man, the perception's so bad on this one.
The visuals is crazy.
Well, there was a third party. It was a professional shoot. I'd rather them do this than cheat.
I know, it's so hard. And the other thing too is like, okay, you know what? Like even, and I don't think we should give her a pass for like when she called the guy, but like, okay, let's say you get up to the point where the guy is there and then you go from like maybe both standing like, you know, kind of like, bad boy style, whatever, to starting to get into the, more risque stuff. Do you not stop at that? Do you not stop when he has your underwear in his teeth?
Yeah.
And he's like bending you over into missionary. Like, is there any point like, hey, can I pause?
I'm good here
for a second?
I am not comfortable. If this was filmed, this would be the intro of a porno.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I asked her to promise me there weren't more and it didn't go any further than that. So she said it didn't, that the guy never even took off his underwear. I asked if it turned her on. She said in a physical sense of feeling skin on skin, it did turn her on, but on an emotional level, she was terrified of what I would think, and it was so businesslike, there was nothing organic happening at all. I told her this was all so fishy because the shoot happened in May. She's had almost 6 weeks to tell me, maybe more. She says that she just couldn't find the words, but was really working on it.
Oh, that's a hard one to trust.
Yeah, that's, I think she might have taken this one to the grave. Her and Gina were locked in on the secret to 6 feet deep.
Oh man.
Almost as deep as the model went. Okay, so Now, the thing that's sort of gross is that our spicy sleep life has been amazing, and I think that the correlation is about when the photo shoot happened.
Oh, she saw something she likes.
Uh-oh.
She's gonna use that in her mind.
Oh, God. Oh, that's not good.
Wow, thanks, Keon. Thanks.
I had
Tells it
attributed
how I sees it.
he calls it like he sees it. I had attributed it more towards our son finally sleeping more than 3 hours at a time, but now I'm not sure. Part of me thinks that she was seriously turned on by the whole thing and took that out, quote unquote, on me. I told her I wanted her to swear to me that she doesn't know this guy from anything prior, hasn't kept in touch with him since, and has no plans to in the future. And so she said the guy actually brought up his girlfriend with him to the shoot, and she was a gorgeous volleyball player for the local university, and she's pretty sure that he's not trading a 6'1" voluptuous volleyball player for a 30-year-old mother with a 13th-month-old baby.
Okay, we're not looking for trades here. That's not the focus. Like, yeah, it was not.
Now, back to the story. I asked if the girlfriend actually watched the shoot. My wife, Nikki, said the girl was in the room but sat and scrolled on her phone and seemed bored by the whole thing. I asked who else was in the room. She said it was just Gina and her assistant who held the lights and such. After some surfing around Gina's main site and finding other things the guy had done for her, we were able to find his name and Facebook page. Dude, this guy is torturing himself. He's a college student and certainly does appear to be dating a very attractive college volleyball player. I asked what Gina was going to do with those pictures because to me, it was crazy that Nikki was initially hesitant to even do the boudoir shoots because of people seeing her, to taking what essentially appears to be soft core in less than a week. That, which I would also totally agree with that. Like, she was even iffy about doing the spicy photo shoot to begin with. Then you bring in this, almost nude, ripped 6'3" male model, and his underwear is in his teeth.
Gina, come on. What are we doing here?
Come on.
We're trying to get more. What is this benefiting Gina for? What is she doing with this content?
Bro, she can, I don't know, sell it. I don't know. Photographers.
I do not feel good about Gina whatsoever. I would know her intention of it. Because wouldn't you just want to get those photos and then be done? She's like,
well, I'm sure she's doing it for some sort of purpose other than just sending it to OP.
Yeah, because
right?
I thought that was what she was going to do and send it to OP and be done.
She sent over the book, but that was just like a trinket. You know what I mean? It wasn't like the purpose. I don't think it was the purpose of it, because the other guy is a professional model. I think these are going to be sold or used somewhere.
Does everyone know about that part too? Because I mean, I don't want pictures of my wife being sold everywhere.
That's 100%. That is not. Many people would agree with that. So, well, we're gonna get Gina's side of the story here. So she said that Gina, the photographer, had no plans for the pictures at all, that they weren't going to be posted anywhere. Okay, so actually these spicy photos are not going to be posted. They were done just as test shoots, since Gina is getting back into boudoir and couples photo shoots, and the male model owed her a favor, so it was a great time to practice. I asked why not ask me to do it. She said she didn't have a good answer for that. That kind of makes it like, I don't know if that's better or makes it even worse, because it was so unnecessary. It's like, you're just practicing. Just practice when you do the shoot. Like, you don't get to like do that to people.
Yeah, exactly. And plus, if you're doing couples, you probably, not all the guys are gonna look like a 6'3" muscular guy.
Just do the couples. Do give someone a discount, and it's the first one, and then do more. Come
Easy.
on.
And then Jamie, the photographer, a professional here,
yes,
offered doing boudoirs for both males and females, but I couldn't include the opposite sex in the shoot unless it was with the person's significant other.
We have from Jamie, the photography chick, that is like verified photographer advice, who has done boudoir shoots as well.
Boom.
You heard it here first, folks. So I asked, obviously Gina already made one huge mistake sending them to me or uploading them in my private proof page. How do we know she's not going to make another huge mistake and send it to the wrong person, and or forget that these were just practice and sell them to someone else? Yeah, good questions. My wife, Nikki, said that we are just going to have to trust her.
Oh.
There's not too much trust there.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah. I told her I was having a really hard time trusting anyone at that moment, and I would need more than that. Nikki said that we could talk to Gina at the first opportunity on Monday. I said, would she be willing to pay a lawyer to drop a contract to keep Gina to her word? She said she would. Then we got into why the secrecy. She said that she felt so guilty after the whole thing that she had no idea how to tell me, and she knew she was going to see her family this week, so she had hoped to put off the subject. That's, I think, where she was at the lake house. house with the they. They was mom and dad.
Okay, good.
Yeah. I asked her how she found out that I knew. She said that Gina had called her late Wednesday confessing that she had really screwed up. My wife Nikki claims at this point she went into full panic mode and pretty much was either crying or clamming up around everyone because she felt so ashamed. I told her how much the silence almost destroyed me, and she started crying and said she was so sorry for the whole thing and she knew she screwed up and basically begged me not to leave her and that she still had more love for me than she had for anyone. Which leads me to the next poll. Divorce or not?
Ooh.
Divorce or not?
She said she was sorry.
I don't think this is divorce territory yet. I definitely think it's like, hey, we need to rebuild the trust here because not only was the trust broken, but like, for instance, she's like, oh, we'll have to trust Gina. It's like, no. Like, we need to like figure this out. We need to do some work here to actually get a solution in place. And not just like, well, we tried nothing, so that's all we can do.
Nah, I'd be pulling up to Gina's house. Hey, I want to see those pictures and then get them deleted
Right?
and out of there.
Yeah. So,
Ugh.
OP says, I told her I believed that she loved me, believed that she was acknowledging her mistake, but that I felt like uber disrespected and emasculated by the whole thing. She said she could appreciate that and would do whatever she could to make it up to me. I told her I just wasn't sure what that meant yet. She started crying and again begged me not to make any rash decisions about leaving her. I said if she promised she was telling the truth, and it seems like she is, then I'm not leaving her. But I'm not sure what normal will look like for us now. She said she'd be willing to do whatever it takes or wait however long for me to figure it out. So here's where we're at. Our son woke up since the sleep schedule was messed up from the drive, so she's tending to him and I'm writing this. I guess aside from the live omission about the whole thing, she's never been dishonest with me, so I believe her about all of the details. I mean, they seem so crazy as to be true and that a lie would be more like normal, if that makes any sense. I think basically OP's saying like, she admitted to, hey, I was turned on skin, but like not emotionally, and like
That makes sense.
all of it. He's like, it's almost like she's incriminating herself now to a point where like it feels like the truth versus like what a lie would be.
Yeah, I'd
deflecting
want
it
to
more.
look at those other photos to make sure she is looking ashamed because
He did look at all the other photos.
and she did look terrified.
I mean, Opie didn't confirm that, but that was when the missionary position came up actually.
Yeah.
So
Because if she's stayed silent, she hasn't necessarily kind of lied. Is she lying more to get herself out of the hole to
that's the thing.
like,
And I mean, like OP's basically like, hey, with all of the context of our relationship, I think she's telling the truth. But all OP's also saying like, I don't know what normal looks like and like how we're going to rebuild this trust. Because right now I don't think the trust is there.
Yeah, no, definitely couples therapy for sure.
Yes.
dude.
And
Oh my
even
gosh.
honestly, the comment about Gina too is like a red flag where it's like, are you not like, that's part of this whole thing. Like we want to make sure, like I want to make sure that Gina, like we can't just sit here and do nothing. We
Yeah.
can't let Gina do whatever. But anywho, I digress. I still feel gross about the whole thing. Another guy has touched my wife's front airbags. My wife has let another man's breath on her neck, and another guy has laid on top of her in several different positions, if you catch my drift. We can never be a married couple that can say we haven't been intimate with other people. I mean, I get the professionalism of it, but it all still happened. I have to learn to live with that. I don't know. That's the update. I don't know if there's more to say or not. Maybe there will be more. I don't know. I'm trying very hard to sort through my feelings and not having much luck. Edit, it's about 6 a.m., totally sleepless night. So based on comments, as soon as my wife is up, I am going to 1, ask to see her phone. 2, tell her I'm contacting the girlfriend as she seems to be the most neutral party who can verify some details. 3, independently contact Gina and ask to see every photo that was taken that day. Okay, so maybe there are still some photos that he hasn't seen.
Got it.
Those are by far the most common responses. I will update when they are done. And we have, I think, an update coming up. Yeah, I think this is
Another update.
another update. Yeah, we've got another edit with a lot more potentially juicy, spicy details.
Keon, are you staying together or not?
Yeah. Like I said, she didn't cheat. Like this wasn't cheating, but this
Yeah.
was a definite big, huge, I would say, just breaking of the trust in our relationship.
Total breaking of the trust, I feel like is a good way to phrase it because it's like,
Yeah. And I get it that she was distraught, but you still did it. You could have said no anytime or during the photo shoot, you could have been like, I don't feel comfortable with this, something like that. And I know you said in some photos you were, am I divorcing or am I breaking up with my partner at this point? No, it's just how do we go from here?
Yeah, I definitely think like couples counseling, because again, too, for me, I think the response about Gina is like, oh, she's not like getting it too.
Yeah.
Like she might, do I think she is truly feels regretful? Honestly, I do from
Yeah.
everything she said, but I'm also like part of it too, like obviously like truly feeling regret. That's obviously a very important part, but another important part is like in building back the trust and all this stuff is like, hey, like Opie's like, hey, it's important to me to contact Gina to make sure she doesn't do anything else with the photos. And she's like, well, there's nothing we can do. You know, I don't know.
Smells like a fish market
Oh.
What?
because it's fishy.
Ah. I thought this was going to be like your shirt.
Oh, the
Not
lesbian
that
one.
shirt. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, great shirt.
Oh, but ladies and gentlemen, we've got this edit number 2. Let's get into it. So I heard my wife crying in the next room on the phone. I sort of eavesdropped, and obviously it was Gina. Ooh. Nicole, I think Nikki, the wife, was telling her that she needed to come over and send all the pictures from the whole shoot, and divorce was on the line, and she had to do this. Gina's on her way out of town to shoot a wedding today, but we are rushing over so she can open the studio before she leaves so we can go through all the pictures. I told my wife that I wanted to look at her phone on the way over. She said that was fine. She's packing up our son. We are taking our 1-year-old son to a studio where my wife was felt up in order to prove she didn't cheat on me. Ugh, this has been the most effed week in my life.
Come on, buddy. We're going to go to a special studio to make sure your mom didn't do anything special with another person.
And that's where the model also squeezed her front airbag. See, that's one thing you guys have in common. You're both fans.
Oh my God.
Gotta love it.
Wow.
Wow,
That's
graphic.
wild.
Pretty graphic there.
I can update later afterwards, but I'm worried this is exhausting everyone else as it is to me. So here's where we're at now. I looked at my wife's phone on the way over to Gina's studio. I love how OP's like a reporter, like
Yeah.
we're getting real-time updates. Basically, on Wednesday at 6:30 p.m., there were 7 missed calls from Gina from my wife's phone. Gina also started a text conversation with her about that time that said, please call me. We really need to talk. I crossed that with my email to Gina, which said this was way more than I thought it was going to be, which was sent around 6:15 that same day. If you remember, in those 15 minutes, I had tried to call my wife, Nikki. She told me that she was too busy to talk. I texted her that I wanted to know what happened in the photo shoot. Apparently, in those 15 minutes, Opie needs to start a true crime podcast or something. This is crazy. In those 15 minutes, Nikki still thought I didn't know because she texted back, sexiness, you like? Are you liking it sexy?
You want it? I do for you.
Hey, these front airbags are still fully inflated. So clearly, when Gina's text started rolling in, she knew that I knew. So their text conversation basically went like, I really screwed up. Not you, lol. No, this is serious. Please call. Can't now. What's wrong? I accidentally put those pics with Craig up on Thomas's preview site. What? Please listen. I need to know what you want me to do. I don't understand. Tommy just emailed me about the photo shoot not being what he thought it was. How would he know? As the wife says. You haven't told him yet? No, not planning on it for a while. Okay, so 6 weeks out and we're still not planning on it for a while. We need another 6 weeks to bake.
Probably at the anniversary. Hey, I want to tell you something.
Yeah.
Real quick. No, I've been a little bit more spicier.
Right.
Well, I found some inspiration.
Birth of baby number 2. This is where this baby came from. Got him. So Opie said, not planning out for a while. Gina said, crap. That's what I thought. Nikki says, I'm still lost. Then in all caps, Gina replies, he's seen the pics of you and Craig. Please follow me. Dude, this might be harsh, but Nikki doesn't sound like the brightest bulb in the pack. She's like, let me spell it out for you. What? How? I'm so sorry. I was rushing to get proofs out and I accidentally uploaded most of them to his preview site. What's most? I mean, almost all of them. Oh my God, Gina. Oh my God. What do you want me to do now? I'm out of town. I can't leave until Saturday. No, what do I do? I don't know. He's going to effing flip out. I can change the password so he can't get back in. What if he copies them? Can't. They're copy protected. Opie says, please do that while I think. I'm so sorry, Nicole. This was a huge accident. Do you want me to talk to him? Nikki says, no, this better come from me, but I'm going to throw up. I don't know what to do. I'm so sorry, Gina says. And that was pretty much the only communication between them. No other calls or anything. Gina texted her the very next day saying, are you okay type stuff, but Nikki never responded. Nikki did text her that she was leaving Saturday morning, but nothing else. So then we get to the studio, the ground zero where it all happened. Gina was rushing around like crazy because she was driving 2 hours away to do a wedding. I asked her to please talk to me about what she was thinking, so she took like 5 minutes and said that she was so sorry and that the thoughts just got away from her and Nikki was doing such an amazing job. It seemed like a great idea at the time. I was at a loss for words, so I just didn't ask any more questions. Gina set us up on her main computer and opened the file folder of every single one of Nikki's pictures from that day, including the ones not included in the proofs. I think it was exactly 1,213 pictures.
From the whole shoot?
From the whole shoot.
Okay.
Wow.
That's usually how much.
I mean, but just that's 1,213 moments of pain.
No.
Or not all of them are the.
No,
Yeah, it's
not
probably
all
like
of them.
around 3,000 or 300.
300, yeah. But still, dude.
You're skimming through them. Yeah, I know.
Oh, man.
It's like the
that's-
first 900, those are fabulous. And then comes the
Oops.
other male model. Yeah.
Uh-oh. I scrolled through every image and got to the couple shots. I could very clearly tell that the mood had changed in the throwaway pictures from the solo to the couple. In all the solo shoots, Nikki was smiling and laughing and having a good time, even if the pic didn't turn out. But in the couple shoots, I could clearly see she was nervous. She wasn't having fun. She had that same timid, almost annoyed face I've seen on her a million times. I'd say in the couple section, it took 10 pictures to come up with the one that looked halfway decent, where her face didn't look like it was being interrogated. And it got worse as she was more and more undressed. You can clearly see that she had a look of genuine disgust when the guy touches her front airbags, and it takes a long time for her to make these shots work.
Dude, if I'm Gina in this scenario, hey, it doesn't look like it's going to fit.
Right?
We're going to call it.
I'm sorry, but I feel like as part of you being the photographer is like, okay, we need to make sure that like everyone's comfortable here, because like at the end of the day, this is your shoot, you're doing this. And like, yeah, it's just the requirement of doing what you do.
Exactly.
You know, and look, if she had some, you know, again, single, so, or, you know, two single people, they're models, they're having fun, they're like, oh, great, do that with them. Don't do that in this scenario.
Don't push this on someone.
Yeah, this does not need to happen. There was also a little interlude where I guess Nikki went into the dressing room to compose herself. So Gina took some similar shots, but with her clothes on, he was still in his underwear with the guy and his girlfriend. And it's very obvious that they both have experience doing this sort of thing. You can see that Nikki is coming out of the dressing room. Gina took the pictures of her alone, trying to get that spark back from the solo stuff. And in those pics, you can see the girlfriend in the background looking bored as crap on her phone. After the break, Nikki seemed to be a little more relaxed, and that's where they got into him lying down on her back, which goes into the teeth thing and into the very suggestive stuff where it appears he's initiating spicy sleep. It takes an abrupt end, and there's a dozen shots of everyone who is presenting, doing things like flipping the camera off, sticking their tongues out, and that sort of thing. The weirdest one is of Nikki in a bathrobe and the girlfriend both hugging on the model with smiles on their faces. She says she asked for that one because it seemed like a cute shoot for everyone to say we're all cool with each other. I was very careful to check the sequencing of the pictures. Gina has them all numerically titled with date and a code for customer and location, then a series number. So basically, if they're all in order, he can see
Got
it
it.
like.
Got it. It's like 001, 002, 004. Or 003.
Yeah. And there wasn't a single picture missing. And it would have been an epic undertaking for Gina to rename 1,000 pictures to eliminate ones that were worse than the ones I already saw. So I am 99% convinced that I've seen everything.
You'd be surprised with what people can do with AI nowadays.
Oh God. Spread them apart. Add 3 inches of space.
What is it? Computer, increase jiggliness by 45%.
Oh God, not the jiggle physics. Turn down the jiggle physics. So now, more than ever, I'm convinced that my wife is telling me the truth about all that happened. We took the full road to get the full picture, and seems like we're there. I don't think she was cheating or having spicy sleep. Lots of people will consider what's happened cheating. Some of them are in this very studio.
Me. This is a form of cheating.
I think it was professional. It was a spur of the moment thing when Nikki said she would like to try to do the couple stuff. The girlfriend was definitely there, so I see no reason to drag her into this. By the way, I want to drag you into the greatest binge of your life. And that is going to Spotify, Apple, or iHeart, searching OK Storytime and getting 2,000 episodes to listen to right now. Do your dishes, walk your dog. Go do it right now, guys. We got more stuff like this. But guys, we are almost at the finale of the saga. I mean, what a journey that we've taken, my brothers in Christ.
Is it cheating or not? Divorce or not?
Yeah.
Gina's fault, Nikki's fault, all over the place.
I would love to get both of your closing thoughts, maybe starting with you, Riley. What's your closing thoughts here?
I'm trying to think the husband overreacted or not in any scenario here. I don't think that he did. I just hope going forward they can put this behind him and he doesn't like weaponize this or keep bringing it up. Because some of the thoughts, I know he's speaking from his heart, but it's sort of like there is a bit of insecurity, but your wife was basically nudie nude with another nudie nude man.
Yeah.
So that's my only concern going forward.
Yeah.
This doesn't cause future problems. They can just dig a grave and leave it there together.
Yeah.
So
that's a good call out. Like you don't want it to, and maybe it does. Maybe he can never get out of his head, and it's just kind of one of those things where they can't move forward. Keon, what are your closing thoughts here?
Like I said, what I've kind of standing on the same thing I've said earlier. The trust here is broken. We need to see how we can fix this moving forward. The husband, in this case, OP, did go to extremes of like, let's figure this out step by step, second by second, and like see if your story, is 100% correct.
Yeah.
And we have the proof. We have it all there. We saw the proof that OP's wife was uncomfortable. This is on Gina. Like, if she clearly didn't see that in the photos,
yes,
you're a photographer. If your model is not comfortable, why are you continuing this photo shoot?
It's your job.
Yeah,
this
100%.
is your job to make sure your models are 100% comfortable and okay with what's being shot on camera.
Yeah, and maybe more education on you can say no and walk away. Maybe she didn't feel comfortable doing that either.
Yeah. I think having that discussion and two, like, if this was a different scenario, it seems like everything didn't get into like too red line territory with like, essay or anything like that. But yeah, great points. We're going to get into the finale of the story here.
Oh boy.
So the things I'm still so uncomfortable with, would she have ever really told me had Gina not accidentally shown me those pics? Why 6 freaking weeks? I think my wife was uncomfortable in the moment, but I think reflection allowed her to realize that she actually enjoyed the experience. I'm more convinced of this than ever with that shot of her with a huge smile where she and the girlfriend almost look like they're members of a burgeoning harem dedicated to hot abs McCool. I wish we had that nickname throughout this whole story. Gosh dang it. But having said that, I do think that she was embarrassed by initiating the shoot and she was very scared what my reaction was going to be, but it says a lot that she didn't trust me to tell me. So that's where we're at now. I guess I'm glad I got to see the pictures, but I don't know if this really cleared anything up. I think she's telling me a version of the truth that's mostly factually true, but how the F can I ever know? I'm not leaving her or divorcing her based on what I know now. Part of me is very happy for her that she had a good time. I'm not like the fun police or anything. Again, he was very excited for her to do the solo shoot. Like, hey, go out there, have fun. Yeah, have fun. But I'm still feel overall terrible about the whole thing.
Yeah. Definitely go to Gina's Google review. We'll link a post to this.
-3 stars. Yeah. -5 stars, dude. Gina fumbled the bag. Samuel Donner has just joined the studio, ladies and gentlemen.
Yo, what's good?
What's good, baby?
My ladies and gents. Oh, well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people around the world, we are about to start the OK Storytime podcast.
That's right. Sam came back to finish the ep with us.
This is an ep finisher.
Ep finisher.
Oh,
yes. So
finisher.
welcome back. You've magically popped in.
Oh, hello. I'm back.
Yeah.
Whoa, crazy. Who is right here? Riley. But who's right here right now? Sam. Did a little switcheroo. Maybe we're twins. Maybe
Sam's
we're
going to finish us
enemies.
off, guys.
You guys ready for this one?
We are ready.
Let's get it.
You just
Let's
go
get
for
it.
it.
All right.
My wife's family looks down on me because I make more than them.
They should look up to you.
My wife, April, and I got married about 5 years ago. She has a master's degree in education. Both of her parents have master's degrees. Her sister got 2 bachelor's degrees. I never went to college. By the way, this comes from user FistBumpHero, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. When April and I got married, I was making about $45,000 a year, which was okay here in the rural South. I was working as a junior system admin. Her family seemed all right with me, some gentle ribbing about how I never went to college. As time went on, the ribbing has turned into something that makes me uncomfortable with myself. And I don't even know how this happened, and I don't even know how to accurately describe this. I feel like I hate myself for being successful. I took a job a few years ago, making $65K a year. April was pregnant, and I was over the moon. I was also scared crapless, and I found a better job to support us. She was adamant that she wanted to continue to work when the baby was born, and she has since. New job was a good bump in pay, but April made some comments about how someone without a degree is making twice as much as her. She's a teacher. So before that jump we made about equal pay, I told her that she's doing what she wanted to do and makes a difference. I agreed that teachers are underpaid and told her if she valued a higher salary that she should definitely pursue that. Apparently, April told her entire family what I was making at my new job.
That's not cool. We shouldn't be doing that. And also, if she wanted a high-paying job, she shouldn't have gone into teaching.
Well, I mean, if you go all the way up, like, there's some professors in universities that make stupid amounts of money.
Absolutely,
but
totally
it's
different.
that's a very slim.
Yeah, and
chunk
usually
of the pie
a different
graph.
process too. Like if she was going to school for specifically like education for children or something, like that's a specific.
I thought she went to. Oh, you mean? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, you're right. Yeah.
Like if she wanted to pursue something.
I think she did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think because her degree was like in education.
Yeah.
So it's like a specialized degree for sure. So April told her whole family how much money I was making, and I was really upset about this. I consider that very personal and not anyone's business but ours. It wasn't long after that her brother made a comment about how it wasn't fair that he was making less than me because he has been working longer than me. That made absolutely no sense to me. Hey guys, have you heard of like field workers? Have you heard of like manual labor?
Yeah.
Did you know that those people work way harder than you do,
Literally.
or I do, or you do, or
Yeah.
Keon does, and they don't always make a lot of money?
Yeah.
It's almost as if that doesn't always
It doesn't always
even out.
Yeah. It's not always kind of.
You have master's degrees, but you're too thick to understand that?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I can tell what's going on in your brain right now. It's just
Very
electricity.
silly.
It's just jolts.
No, this is just so like nonsensical that I can't not be that upset about it.
Yeah.
Her sister with 2 degrees made the same comments, except she works in a fast food restaurant and has for the last 12 years in a non-managerial role. Her degrees are in creative writing and psychology. Dude, if you work anywhere for 12 years and you don't move up at all,
That's-
that's on you.
Also, like, yeah, come on. You have 2 degrees that could get you a job. And you didn't pursue anything for 12 years?
Ugh. Her dad also made a comment about me making more than him now. He works for the state government, and I had to convince him that he was still coming out on top with his great benefits and retirement, etc. Why was it up to me to convince him? I have no idea. Here we are a few years later, as I have received raises, bonuses, etc. The commentating from April's peanut gallery family has gotten worse. They refer to me as the 1% and how I should be paying more taxes. They've made comments about how someone with my limited education shouldn't be making more than any of them.
That's so stupid.
Why don't you use all that substantial education you have to go figure out how to make more money, smarty pants?
Yeah. It's like, come on. Come on.
These people walk down the street, see a kid with a lemonade stand, and they spit on
Yeah.
them. You say, "Do you disgust me with your
Yeah.
uneducated business practices?"
Nah, we need to get John in here, man. John freaking Star. Very successful person. You don't have to go to college to have success. It is just one. You know what? These people need to play life. The game of life.
True.
Because you can be very successful and not go to college and still win at that game.
True.
And of course, you can also be very successful and have gone to college.
True.
There are different routes for everyone that work for different people.
It's just so weird to have done this thing you wanted to do. You went and got a master's, and now because like your daughter's boyfriend is
Does well.
yeah, that now it's like, well, this is actually about me. Like,
It's like, that's so embarrassing.
so they have stated multiple times how I should go buy lotto tickets with how lucky I am to be getting paid what I do. It has started to eat at me. Dude, you know what you do there? Oh, you missed that. They served it up to you like a underhand like softball pitch. That was just, you know why I'm really lucky? Because I fell in love with your daughter.
Yeah, you just really go hard on like, I really love your daughter. I'm so glad that I have her, and I have the ability to support your daughter.
Except he's kind of annoyed with her too because she's doing it.
Yeah.
All of this blew up over the weekend, and I lost my cool. Her dad and sister were over at our house, and he was talking about a new girlfriend his brother has. He said he couldn't relate to her because she was uneducated, and he has nothing to say to those kinds of people. He said this right in front of me, and I finally just lost it.
Jeez, the amount of like, like these people think so highly of themselves.
Yeah, they do. This guy, all these people are broke because they spend all of their free time smelling each other's farts and telling them how good they smell. Ooh, that fart smells like you have a master's degree.
Yeah.
Ooh, yum. Gross. It was like 5 years of me grinning and bearing it just exploded. I have never been confrontational with April's family, so I guess to them it came out of nowhere. I told him that I was uneducated by his definition, so he has nothing to say to me either. He gave a weak excuse about, well, that's different. You have experience. And I told him that this other girl had experience too. I told him that writing people off because they didn't follow his exact same path of education was incredibly demeaning.
Yep.
Not to mention narrow-minded, smarmy, self-centered.
Classist.
Yeah,
A lot of people cannot afford to go to college or pursue a master's degree.
yeah, and also not understanding that there's not an equivalence between having a degree and intelligence.
Absolutely.
As evident by these people.
They're pretty dumb.
I also told him I didn't appreciate the offhanded comments about my salary, my lack of a college degree, and I would appreciate it if they kept their jealousy under a tighter lid next time they come to my house that my lack of education pays for.
Ooh.
Boom.
Ooh.
Pow, 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 pow,
Ouch.
pow.
That's a burn.
Gonna have to call the fire department. I felt really bad and really good, all at the same time. They left under an awkward silence, and April totally ripped me. She said I was being unfair. I told her I have heard enough of their comparisons of me to Donald Trump. I'm not effing rich. I don't think he got a small loan of $1 million. I make a decent living and provide for my family. I take pride in that. I love my daughter with everything I have, and I want the best for her. I told her the way her family, including her, have been treating me has been pretty damaging to my self-confidence, and I didn't appreciate it. And I wasn't going to tolerate her dad coming to our house and acting like an a-hole. She said, well, that's just how my dad is.
Tell him to stop being like that.
Then guess what?
He doesn't get to be around us.
If that's just how your dad is, then how come I can't be the way that I am? Because this is how I am
Yeah.
when there's an a-hole in my presence. So let's extend that courtesy to everyone, huh? If we are who we are, right? Oh, I guess your master's degree didn't teach you that. Common sense?
Yep.
Dinguspot, who is April?
Come on, Dingus.
Come on,
And he's
Dingus
coming around the
winning.
first turn.
Oh,
and
he's coming in
he
fast.
stumbled and he
Oh.
lost his gravity. He's stumbling
He
out
did
of the
not even
atmosphere.
finish the.
The horse and his jockey are leaving the confines of our planet, and they will travel as stardust.
Uno más tiempo. Who is April?
You didn't say Dinguspot.
Oh, have
Oh.
we just been saying Dinguspot every time and we're not supposed to?
This is new.
So no Dinguspot. You just press a button, and it goes, here it is.
We're trying something.
Thank you, Dinguspot. All right, let's
If that is your real name.
let's do this.
Wait, is it Hannah? Because we just say nothing and then ask it a question?
Clever.
This also gets worse. It is really sad that I have to say this is the worst part. I accepted a new job a few days ago. I spent the last few years paying for my own additional training, networking, taking on projects at work, etc. I accepted a role as a senior systems architect for a cloud provider. They offered me a generous $105,000 a year salary and a month's vacation. And my wife basically made me feel like crap for it. She literally broke down into tears. She said, verbatim, she can't be happy for
Oh
me.
my god.
I don't even understand how that is effing possible. She said she doesn't like her job, and it is sad that I'm going to be making 2.5 times more than she is, even though she has a degree and I have nothing. I didn't know how to respond.
She can't. Her jealousy is so consuming.
All consuming. Do we have ages.
I can get.
And I literally have a personal anecdote for this exact moment because I was when I was like 19. I was dating we were both actors, and she ended up booking this role. And when I heard about it over the phone, like my immediate reaction was jealousy instead of just being like sad and jealous and being like, I can't be happy for you about that. I pushed through that and I like told her congratulations. And then when I saw her, I was like, hey, so this weird thing happened. And I actually got really jealous of you. And it felt weird. And we talked about it.
Yeah.
I didn't blame her for my feelings. I didn't.
Could have come with him and said, hey, I'm like so proud of you. I'm feeling a lot of self kind of insecurity about my job, about what I've done with my life. I need to work on that. But I would love your help in finding maybe a job that does give me a little bit more security and a little bit more, security in my work, in myself,
If you really did get that master's degree, I'd be asking your husband, like, hey, can I cheat off your homework? Like,
Yeah.
Can I copy your answers? How did you do this?
How did
I
you
would
do
like
it?
to do this. Help me do this.
OP 29
Okay.
and my wife 32 female. So April is 32.
Yeah, it's
Ooh, and I bet there's
just-
also kind of that
The
like
age thing.
age thing too. They see this younger guy
Yeah.
who doesn't have a degree, who's doing really well for himself, and they're like, how?
Yeah, well, and it's the two parents that also have the master's degree, and then she has. So it's like this is a family tradition,
Yeah.
looking down on others for not having degrees.
Dude, I think it's also, I don't know. I think I just have a different perspective on this because I'm like so entrenched in the YouTube sphere where so many people don't go to college and become
Mhm.
very successful. And it's just, there's just so many different routes for people.
Yeah.
And there's not one path. There's many different ones that can all lead to success and also lead to failure.
Correct. So she's breaking down, saying, I can't be happy for you because you did nothing to earn this, essentially. After a few minutes to collect my thoughts, I told her that she shouldn't be happy for me. I told her that she should be happy for us. I also told her if she was unhappy with her job, she should just quit and stay home with our daughter or find a part-time job. The real sick thing about this, though, is that I'm starting to believe the crap her family has been saying. Maybe I don't deserve what this new job is going to pay me. I feel like I've been conditioned to think that if someone went to college, they are immediately better than me, and I think April has been conditioned of that too. She isn't a bad person, although my story may paint her in a harsh light. Like we've said earlier today, this is one negative example
Yeah.
of their relationship. And I guarantee you all of these thoughts she has have been programmed into her by her parents her entire life. So I saw a lot of divorce chants in the chat. I'm not going there because they also have a kid.
They have a kid. I think
Like-
this is a conversation thing that they can work through, but I do think it's like, oh, it's not good.
Right.
It's very not good.
It's a very deep-seated issue.
Yeah, her jealousy is just out of control.
Parents, who cares? I'm literally the parents or I'm not even hearing them. All I care about is fixing the dynamic with my wife.
I agree. I don't think this is when you have a kid and you're married. I don't think this is like take a minute. Let's go to therapy. Let's figure out your jealousy. And
Yeah.
if we can't, then that's another story. But try first.
And I think maybe she's trying to ask for it in a weird way. Like she broke down and said all this stuff that she's probably just been thinking on the inside. Now that it's out in the open, you'd be like, okay, well, let's get you not feeling like this, right? You
Mhm.
don't want to feel this way. Let's figure out how to get there without tearing me down, right? Since I'm your husband. But I think her family has pushed you must go to college or you will be a complete failure
Yeah.
narrative. And she doesn't know how to reconcile that someone who didn't go to college isn't a complete failure. Trust me, I'm not bashing college. I'm not anti-college. I wish I went to college. I'm under no illusion that multiple doors were probably closed to me and it took me longer to break into this field without a degree. I want my daughter to go to college because it will help. It just wasn't for me at that time in my life, and I made the best I could out of the situation. So I have 3 real questions. 1, how do I get out of the mindset where I'm starting to internally believe this nonsense? I don't even know how to describe it. I logically know that their BS isn't true, but there's part of me doubting that, and it is affecting my self-confidence. I'm starting to feel guilty for being successful professionally. Therapy. Therapy.
Individual therapy, marriage counseling.
Individual therapy for that one, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, how do I get April and I on the same page? We've had some rocky times in our marriage, but we've worked through them. But I almost feel guilty now for trying to be the best I can be professionally because I know it just makes her feel like crap. Maybe I am defending her a little too much by laying the blame with her family. I don't know. When she said she couldn't be happy for me that I got a new job that would put us into a comfort of living outside of our friends and both of our families, it crushed me. Also therapy.
Mm-hmm.
That one's the couples therapy.
Therapy.
3, how do I handle her family? I'm not very confrontational, and I feel bad about how I reacted to the underhanded comment her dad made the other day. It's okay. You only feel bad because you're not used to confronting people. What you did was perfectly fine. I told April I didn't want an apology. I just want her family to be clear that they wouldn't be welcomed at my house if they weren't going to be respectful of either of us. And I felt that them acting like they have been towards me is being disrespectful not only to me, but to her as well. Edit, quick clarifications here from OP. This has all made me feel a lot better. Here's a couple of things. This is made up, crowd, blah, blah, blah. I wish it was. It is not. La, ya, ya, ya. And by the way, you know what's also not made up is the fact that you can listen to full episodes with stories like this.
True.
On Spotify, iHeart Radio, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search OK Storytime.
Search it up, man.
It's all you need to do.
Yeah, I think this is like just therapy. And see if that works before we make any big decisions. Amy Lynn says April is stuck on the idea that only certain people should be rewarded because only college degrees work hard. Yeah, she has a very misguided view of how the world operates. And Miss Woozy says if your immediate instinct isn't to be happy for your partner when they find success, there's a severe problem. Yeah, everyone deals with jealousy. That is a very normal human feeling, but it is how we handle it. It is how we move going forward, how we limit the amount of jealousy and how we treat our partner when we're feeling that jealousy.
We have to be aware of how we're feeling and how we're thinking.
Identifying the feeling is the first step.
And there is a little bit more story here, so
let's read it.
Let's go ahead and finish it. So to everyone else, I really appreciate it. A lot of strong advice here. I plan on discussing things with my wife and have a lot of great information here. I didn't try to paint her as a bad person, and I don't really think she is. I think she's just having a problem reconciling her beliefs she was raised with, what her teachers taught her and what college taught her, blah, 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 and that all of that isn't 100% factual. I think she's also burned out in her profession, and I know there's a big upheaval with the whole Common Core push in the U.S., and many teachers are battling this. I don't know enough to make an educated opinion on it, to be honest. I just know it stresses her out. We are also new parents. Our daughter is 3, and I think there's just a lot going on right now contributing to it, and she's calling into question some core beliefs she holds. There's just a lot going on. I really want to make sure I handle it appropriately with her. And that is the end of that story. I like that. And I like that. I like that.
Me too.
Therapy, though. Definitely need some therapy.
Therapy.
Just gotta get to these,
things are tough right now.
nuggets of realization.
Things are very tough for teachers. I will absolutely, concede to that. But yeah, she needs to figure out how to deal with tough things that happen in her life without taking them out on you.
Correct. And I just got out of high school right as the Common Core shift happened, and I'm so glad that I did, because from everything I've heard from my younger family members, it just is dumb. It's just a dumber way to do math. My parents crossed a line with my wife, and now my marriage is at risk.
Boundaries, people, boundaries.
Yes, and there's a trigger warning here for miscarriage. The story is going to talk about that. If you don't want to hear that, do not listen to this story.
Please.
Here's some background. I'm an only child, and it's been drilled into me from an early age that I need to be there for my parents when they get older. For the most part, I don't mind. They've done their best to give me what I need, and I'm only too glad to help out when I can. By the way, this comes from user stuck in two. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So when I got married, I was happy to know my wife shared this sentiment too. She treats my parents like her own for the most part. The issue is my parents are currently here visiting us. They've been here for 2 months, and the plan is for them to stay another 3 weeks. This hasn't been an issue for us. A couple of days ago, though, my wife had what she thought was her period, but after some time, she was in a lot of pain. Trigger warning. So I rushed her to the ER where we were told she was having a miscarriage.
Oh, wow.
This was a huge surprise to both of us because we didn't suspect anything. She was sent home with orders to rest and take it easy, and upon her insistence, we told my parents that she'd had a stomach bug, and that, along with her period, made things worse. The next day, my wife was in bed resting when, and this part is based on what she told me since I was at work, my mother entered the room and asked her when she was getting out of bed as there was work to be done. She politely replied that she wasn't feeling well and that she would be staying in bed all day, but if my mom wanted something to be done, just note it down and she would do it the following day. My wife, who I'll call Lucy, told my mom that if it was a truly urgent matter, she would ask me to take care of it in the evening. My mom proceeded to yell at her and tell her she was a no-good, lazy witch who took advantage of her son. Lucy started crying and asked my mom to leave the room, but my mom stood there yelling at her till Lucy picked up the phone and called me. Apparently, when she did, that's when my mom left the room and Lucy got up and locked the door. I picked up her call and she was still crying and wasn't able to give me an answer, so I rushed home at lunchtime. She told me the whole story, and I'm ashamed to say I didn't believe it. My mom had never behaved like that ever, and I didn't see her doing it. I got Lucy to take a nap and asked my mother what happened, and she told me she just asked Lucy what she wanted for lunch when Lucy started crying. I messed up again and let it slip that Lucy had had a miscarriage and told my mom to keep an eye on her because it might have been her hormones causing her to cry. Well, 2 hours after I got back to work, and I get another call from Lucy. Except this time I can hear my mom screaming terrible things at Lucy about her miscarriage.
No.
I rushed home immediately and confronted my parents. My mom was unrepentant, and my dad said he didn't want to be dragged into the issue. I asked Lucy what she wanted, and she told me she wanted my parents out of the house immediately. This posed a problem for me, and I told her I'd put them up in a hotel somewhere for a night or two. She lost it and said that I wasn't to spend a single dollar on them, not after the things my mom had said to her. I told her sorry, but that was out of the question as my parents depended on me. She started weeping and told me to get out, and I left her alone for some time. During that time, she'd called her brother who lives in the next town, and he turned up. He didn't say a single word, just helped Lucy pack, and they left. I tried to stop her and to get her to stay, but all she told me was as long as my parents were here, she would not be. I didn't know what to do. I just kept calling her and leaving messages for her. My parents took it upon themselves to call up her parents, who live in a different country, and essentially insult them by telling them that if they'd brought up their daughter better, she wouldn't have left. I had to snatch the phone away from them and apologize to her parents. They were totally baffled, so I explained everything to them, after which they hung up on me. And that hurt. I left a message apologizing again, but they haven't replied. The next day, I got a message from my wife asking me to come to her brother's place. I went after work, and we talked. She told me it wasn't fair that she couldn't be in her own house while my parents were. According to her, it felt like being punished for no fault of her own. And then she told me that if my parents weren't out by the end of the week, on their own money, not ours, she would leave me. I know my parents need to go, but each time I tell them, my dad refuses to buy a ticket to leave and says they'll leave when they plan to leave. And if I keep pressuring them, they'll disown me. I can't get them out of my house. I'm at work all day. And buddy, you shouldn't be worrying whether you should be disowning them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't get them out of the house. I'm at work all day. If I don't get them out, my wife will leave me, and I can't imagine having a life without her. My parents don't care that she'll leave me. My wife doesn't care that my parents might disown me. Yesterday, her brother called me up and told me that each day my parents are in our home and she isn't, she hates me a little more.
Oh, gosh.
I don't know what to do. I don't want to get the police to get my parents out because, well, they're my parents. I can't lose my wife. I can't see a way out of this. Help me, please. Told my parents to leave or I'd call the cops. They're flying out to stay with my aunt for the remaining 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
My mom trashed the house, but they're out. It's another offense that's a criminal offense. I'm going to pick up my wife now. I've got a lot of groveling to do. Not sure if I want to stay in contact with my parents anymore. Thanks, everyone. Yeah, I'd be pretty sure I wouldn't want to stay in contact with my parents.
Yeah.
Comment 1, are you Asian or from another traditional conservative culture? I say that because of this and because your parents planned on staying with you for 3 months. Because most people from Western cultures wouldn't be saying a lot of the things you say below, and also because most of them wouldn't be feeling stuck in a quandary or debating whether to cut off contact with the parents. They would see this as 100% unacceptable. Your mom is a psycho witch. Go no contact immediately, etc. Instead, you put a lot of significance on not being disowned, and you're obviously stuck trying to keep a relationship with your parents and with your wife. Comment 2, here's where I think the first and possibly most damaging F-up is. When you sided with your mom, you basically accused your wife of lying to you. When you said you couldn't see your mother yelling at her like that, you essentially told your wife she was a liar. Your wife is dealing with a miscarriage. It F's with everything about your being, both physically, hormones are not an effing joke, and emotionally, there's a very real possibility that she's grieving right now. Everything you have done since this first incident has shown her that you do not value your family with her the way that you value your parents. You've got a choice to make right now, her or your parents. Lastly, your wife did not put you in this position. You did. What she's asking is totally reasonable. She was verbally abused in her home while she was vulnerable. If it was you in that position, would you be okay with the assailant staying in your home? If you had believed your wife and stood up for her from jump, you would not be in this position. If you choose to support her in this, it's important that you deal with any resentment you feel without taking it out on her. Comment 3, even if your wife were lying, you should still have removed your parents. She's emotionally and medically vulnerable, and if she's uncomfortable with guests, then those guests are going to jeopardize her healing process. How the F were you expecting to handle the postpartum period? Oh well, I'm sorry you're having a conflict with my mother, but I wasn't there to see it, so I'm going to blame it on your hormones, postpartum depression, postpartum psychosis, whatever. And since it must be your fault because you're the one with the out-of-whack hormones, my mother gets to stay, and you'll have to figure out how to recover and not spiral into postpartum depression or psychosis, while simultaneously playing hostess to a guest who is a huge source of stress to you, while I'll stay away all day at work. Seriously? So what if the conflict was your wife's fault for having PPD? Do you really think that that would be a good recovery strategy? Just the fact that you thought you needed to take sides, that you thought it would offend your parents to change their plans to allow your wife to recover from a serious medical and emotional problem is a huge red warning flag that the problem is your parents and you, not your wife. There's an update here. Let's get into it. Long story short, it's all good.
Oh.
Nice.
Okay.
Long story long, OP's wife here.
Oh my gosh.
We are now getting the wife's perspective.
Oh, this is crazy.
He showed me this post as we were having our much needed conversation, and wow, it got a lot of replies. First, I was blown away by all the support in the comments. I wanted to let everyone know that I've been fine for the most part. The miscarriage was sudden and unexpected, and neither of us knew how to feel about it, but we've come to terms with it. Hopefully, in the near future, we'll have a more positive result. Secondly, to add some context to the previous post, we're Indian. In our culture, it's kind of a given that you help your parents out as they grow older. It's also a common thing for parents to have long visits and whatnot. Third, my husband is a good guy. I can understand the vitriol coming his way over failing to see his parents' past behavior, but the thing is, neither of us were able to believe his parents were capable of such behavior. He hasn't spent much time with his parents. Growing up, he stayed with an aunt and cousin to attend school and with his grandparents during his college days, so he's never actually spent extended periods of time at home to note their behavior. The most time I've spent with them in the past was a week, and my parents were there too during that time. Now, on to the actual update.
Oh boy.
After he banished his parents, my husband Jack came down to my brother's apartment to, in his words, take me home. Before he did, though, we had a long conversation and spoke about everything, which is how we came to the first and third points mentioned before. My brother was a champ and lent us his apartment for the night to give us privacy. I asked Jack what his plans with his parents were, and he told me he's not going to let them back into our lives unless they apologize. If they do, then we'll allow them to see any future children, but it will always be supervised and they will never be left alone with them. He's on my side 100% and apologized for taking his parents' side. He told me it was hard for him to believe his parents, who he'd always held in high esteem, were capable of behavior like that. I cried with him. I can't imagine what he's going through having to cut your parents out of your life like that, but I'm glad he's on my side. We'll be going for a few sessions of counseling together, and I'm hoping to persuade him to go individually too to handle the whole cutting his parents off situation. The next day, he booked a hotel room for the two of us, asked me to spend the day doing whatever I wanted, just to lay back and order room service. He then organized for cleaners to clean our apartment so I wouldn't have to do anything. He even got the carpets steam cleaned. I was amazed.
Aww.
You know, getting those carpets steam cleaned, that was that extra little bit of brownie points he needed right there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
She goes, steam clean the carpet? What?
That never happens.
Yeah, I forgive him. I think
Yeah.
The room service was amazing. I'm a bit sad about having to cook now. We're now firmly back home, and it's good to be here, just the two of us. As for his parents, they've flown to stay with his Aunt Sandra. In my view, the best place for them because she takes absolutely no BS at all. He was going to call her and let her know what happened, but she ended up calling him the night his parents landed there, asking why we had sent them. He told her exactly what happened, told her not to let them spread rubbish against me, and she told him she'd take care of it.
Wow.
He also called a few of his close cousins to let them know what happened, so now if his parents try to drive his family against us, they can't. She called up again last night, telling us how frustrated they were that no one seemed to sympathize with them. Jack told me that he had heard his mom screaming in the background about the devil her son had married, and Sandra yelled back at her, "You're the devil. Hold your tongue."
All right, Sandra.
Let's go, Sandra.
Let's go. Oh my gosh.
Apparently, when my mother-in-law got married to my father-in-law, her mother-in-law expected her to wait hand and foot on her and do all the chores and so on. Kind of explains why his father didn't say anything either. He's been used to his mother, Jack's grandma, treating his wife, Jack's mom, the same way. So he didn't blink an eye when his wife yelled those things at me. I actually sometimes feel a little sorry for his mom being married to someone who let them be treated that way. I hope that his parents spending time with Sandra will knock some sense into them and they'll understand that unless they apologize, they won't have anyone to support them. And by the way, you can fully support us by listening to full episodes with stories just like this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search OK Storytime, and you've got the entire world in the palm of your hands.
Please, sir.
Oh, and we spoke to my parents as well and cleared things up with them. I think they consider Jack more of a son now than they did before. And while we've both thanked my brother several times, we've called him over the next weekend and we're going to be taking him out to a great dinner.
Woohoo.
I'm making him lots of food he likes to take back with him. If you have any other suggestions on how to thank him, let me know. Okay, so that's everything. We're now going to go binge watch Doctor Who and order pizza. Thanks again for all your replies.
Nice.
And that is the end.
What a beautiful ending
of that
to that.
story. Yes.
My cousin's wife tried to dump their son on me at the airport without my permission.
Not the kind of dump that you want to take at the airport.
It was my very first semester as a college freshman. I officially moved into my college dorm to start this new chapter of my life. I'm an international student, so it was a tough experience once reality settled. Thankfully, I had my cousin, whom I hadn't seen in years, and his wife, who lived in Dallas, help me get US number, bedding, school supplies. By the way, this comes from Just Scrolling 375, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. Fast forward to Thanksgiving break. I accepted my cousin's offer to go to Dallas for the break since it was better than staying in the dorms. I met his 2 kids, a son and a daughter. We catch up with each other, seeing how our lives went up to that point. The break ended, and I went back to college to study for finals, and then it happened. My cousin's wife asked for a favor via text. The favor? Take their 8-year-old son home back to the Caribbean with me because his godmother wanted to see him. I told her that I wasn't able to do that because I didn't know when my exams were finished. I actually did know when. I just told her that so she would leave me alone or do something herself. I already made up my mind with my mom's support that I wasn't doing that. Fast forward weeks later, I was chill in the airport minding my own business when my good cousin calls me. He asked if I was doing something for his wife. I told him no, and I explained. He thanked me, and I thought that was the end of it. So kind of
he
like
thanked him for not doing anything.
I think he
Like, thanks for not giving me my wife that favor.
I guess like thanks for like letting me know, maybe. I don't know. But no, I saw her with the son holding a suitcase in a carry-on as I was walking up to my gate. My cousin was nowhere to be seen. I asked her what she was doing, and she gave me some sob story of how his godmother wanted to see him and told him that he'll be good as he was hugging my leg. I was shocked. I felt my heart race. The groups were being called, and I had to make a decision. Note, I had just turned 18 at the time.
He's a fresh 18.
Bro, he's barely legal. I barely knew this child. I like to have everything in order and pre-planned to avoid confusion, and this would complicate everything. Furthermore, immigration would be on my case. Finally, I don't know who the godmother is or how she looks. I told her no, stating that if she wanted to do this, they could have planned a family trip together and not dump their kid on me. She said she had already bought the ticket and I might as well take him. I told her no again. And
Take him
went on my
where?
flight.
He doesn't know where he's taking her.
Yeah, he doesn't even know where he's taking him
It's
to.
just like, take my kid to the Bahamas.
Yeah, like in the Caribbean, it's
Somewhere.
like, dude, there's a lot of places in the Caribbean. Like what city, what port, like what are we talking about? I told her no again, and I went on my flight. My family was proud of me for standing my ground as they didn't like her either. Turns out that sometime after or during the pandemic, my cousin and his wife got divorced. Opie says, understandable. His now ex-wife went behind his back trying to get his son on an international flight when they could have planned a family trip together. Thanks for reading. Getting into these relevant comments. Commenter number 1, well done for not bowing down under pressure. You absolutely did the right thing. I can't fathom what goes on in the minds of people like this. I mean, how does that even make sense to anyone? Even if you had agreed, I would think that you'd need at least notarized letters giving you permission to take someone else's minor on an aircraft, let alone to a foreign country.
Yeah, I feel like there's got to
Yeah.
be some permission slips or something.
Something. Opie says, thank you. It was my first grown-up decision. To be honest, I don't know how people like her function. She's basically putting her son in the hands of a stranger. I met the son during the break. Overall, she probably only cared about herself. This was almost 5 years ago, so I'm not sure if she had notarized letters. Commenter number 2 says, I highly doubt she even botherized with notarized letters. She was trying to pull a dump and run at your expense. Opie replies, considering that she went behind her husband's back and did it while he was at work, I wouldn't be surprised. Trying to send her son to his godmother, not even to an actual relative. Yeah, that's another good point. It's like,
Yeah, it just this is like so many levels of being pawned off.
yes.
You know?
Yeah. To the godmother, like no sister, no
yeah,
like his
we're doing a
aunt or
little bit like
grandma?
throw this kid away, merry-go-round, you know?
Oh, goodness. Commenter number 3 says, flying internationally with a child requires documentation, especially when not immediate family. They probably would not have let him board and possibly detained you, causing you to miss your flight. That would have been awful, although it
Yeah.
would have been an interesting story.
Pretty funny. We would have enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Well, not enjoyed it, but
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
Yes. Opie said, that's what I'm saying. My grandpa works for an airline, so he knows the rules and regulations. For all I know, she probably had some story to say that we were close cousins to avoid proper documentation and just to let us on board. Commenter number 4 says,
that is big yawn.
big one.
Big yawn, John.
Commenter number 4 says, I'm getting this hunch that the kid's father knew nothing about her being at the airport and had not been given any permission for his young son to leave the country this way. I'm not surprised your cousin and this entitled idiot are divorced now. Opie says your hunch is correct. I took a morning flight back home, so it was around 8 or 9 a.m. when he called me about his wife. I had a good hour or half hour before she confronted me alone with their son while at the airport. So my cousin was probably at work when all of this down. And OP also clarifies on the timeline of when this took place. They got divorced after the incident. The story was in 2018 and the divorce was in 2020, 2021. Commenter number 5 says, you said that your cousin has 2 kids, a son and a daughter. So where was the daughter? Why was she only trying to send the son away? That actually is a good question. If it's like a custody thing, it's like, why not?
Is her favorite one.
I mean,
I don't know.
honestly though,
No way.
I mean, this mom is insane enough to try to pawn her kid off.
There's no way.
Plan.
Yeah.
Mate.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not.
Either way, it was absolutely not okay to do. and I'm glad that you stood firm. Opie said she was more strict with the daughter, so the daughter was probably home when all of this happened. Also, thank you. And then Opie explains how the wife managed to find them at the airport. She had a good hour to find the gate for the morning flight. I already went to the security at the regional airport I was in before I arrived in Dallas. I had no idea how she got herself through security in Dallas. Oh, that's another good question. How did she get through security
with
Yeah.
the kid.
with the kid?
Well, maybe when you have a minor that's traveling alone, you can like get
accompany them to the
accompany
gate.
them to the gate.
But no, usually
Dude.
my understanding is they usually give you a person.
I saw a minor go to a gate, and he was like a big boy, like probably 12, and just like he was definitely an O-line for some
5'7"?
football team. He was like 5'2" or something, but he's just a big boy. Like
Yep.
you can't carry him away. And he just had like a little like lanyard badge around him, and he was just sitting there like, you know, if someone tried to kidnap him, they know where he's from. They got his address and phone number on there.
All I know was she and her son were in a nearby sitting area where my gate was. We have an update.
We have an update.
The kid
man.
made it to the Caribbeans.
Yeah.
He showed up at Opie's door like, "Where's my godmother?"
Please help me.
Dude,
I've been surviving in the jungle for 3 days.
I've been eating coconuts off the trees.
and skinning alive the wild boars.
Oh.
My mom told me how to do it, and she raised me in the wilderness.
At this point, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, dude.
Worst mom of the year
Kid
award
is
over here.
feral.
Come on. Opie says, I saw my good cousin again around 2 years ago for a family event. He brought the son with him. My family told me what happened. Okay, so I think we're getting like the full.
Finally, I want
backstory.
full disclosure.
Yes. So he and his wife obviously got divorced likely around the pandemic or slightly before. My cousin got full custody over his son and he became a good kid. Now he has a new and awesome girlfriend. So what happened to the ex-wife? She moved back to the Caribbean, and that's all I could tell since I removed her from my friends list and other members of my family don't care about her. That's the end of the story. Story wasn't insane or as engaging as others. Sometimes it's good to have some normalcy. My cousin's wife tried to put their young son on a plane. We have one relevant comment. What happened to the daughter? Yeah, that's actually a great question.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
Oh.
no one cared.
Yeah, apparently. Opie said she's fine and either went to college or into the workforce. I like Opie's like, she's fine. She grew up and got a legal ID document and probably eats food. Like, yeah, she got a job.
Yeah.
Good hunch. Commenter number 2 says, I think she was trying to kidnap the kids out of U.S. jurisdiction. Luckily, Opie didn't. Cousin would have had a hard time trying to repatriate the son. I guess get the son back. Opie said, I literally met his wife and son that year. I have no emotional attachment or legal obligations to them whatsoever. He just met this freaking kid, dude. And seriously, who was even his godmother anyways? Commenter number 3 says, that's probably why she picked you to trick since you didn't know what was going on. And Opie said, yeah, it's been 7 years since then. But even then, I knew she was on some BS. I don't remember the conversation clearly, but my mom and I both agreed not to help her with this scheme. I had finals, so I ignored her texts and calls, hoping that she'd get the message. Then this woman pulls up to the gate with the kid. I operate on a tight schedule and like to have all my things in order before I do anything. So I don't know what made her think I was going to agree with it. She didn't offer me anything to convince me to even consider it.
Not even like some cash or something.
Yeah, not even something. Yeah, like, oh, hey, here's some like babysitting money. I don't know, $100.
Yeah.
18-year-old,
$100
you know?
could go a long way.
Maybe then you have like a fighting chance. Just take the kid and deal with it yourself. That was
Yeah, not
the
even
idea.
money for like, I don't know, a cab to the godmother's house.
Or to feed him. Like, guys.
Oh yeah.
Guys, we literally like this 8-year-old is gonna survive on airplane peanuts and pretzels until we get to the god. By the way, we don't even know the godmother's name.
Yeah.
We don't know her address. We know nothing. It's just like,
Hey, that's part of the adventure, you know?
Exactly.
dude,
Sounds
find
like
her
the
in
adventure of a lifetime.
like find some like little house on the sandy shores of the Caribbean and then pass them off. I don't know. But that's the end of the story.
What a wild
Top
what a-
100 parents right here.
Yeah, facts, dude.
Right.
Facts. Oh my God.
My wife asks for divorce every time we argue. This time, I agreed.
Well, you wanted to do it.
I, Luke, 30 male, and my soon-to-be ex, Katie, 30 female, come from an Asian background. We started dating when we were 17. We were both each other's first everything. We were in love, and things went on one date after another. She had very strict parents, and we always had to sneak around even to go out. If we asked for permission, her parents would send her younger brother with her. Oh gosh. By the way, this comes from OK Cicada 8966, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. Me and my brother were raised by a single mother, and she did it all. She didn't have much help except for my aunt, mother's elder sister. She was in accounting and did her master's and got selected for law college. Very competitive entrance, by the way. She competed at law college within the top 5 people of her batch of very young people.
Oh, wow.
She is my hero and my role model. My father was a very harmful guy. Sent my mother to the hospital in critical condition a couple of times, and that's why she left him and took us with her. Well, that's good of her. At
Yeah,
the
that's
very
good.
least.
That's great.
Yeah. She's a very open-minded person and also very kind. I'm very close to her and have very good communication with her. I always wanted my significant other to be on good terms with my mother, and Katie knew this. So, back to the story. We were in love with each other, and from the beginning, I always thought she would be my last. She made the best out of small chunks of time that we got to spend with each other. Mostly, I would walk from my school to her school so that we could enjoy the bus ride from her school. Oh, that's cute. We went through a phase of getting on again and off again due to her family pressures and her feeling guilty for sneaking around. I was more into studies than her. We have free education, so if you get into a state university, you have a full ride, but it's super competitive. So I worked my butt off and got into medicine. It was okay since we met regularly, but after getting into university, I think she got very insecure. Every small thing set her off. She would always tell me that I'm going to leave her for someone else. Oh, what? And if I had a female friend or if someone flirted with me or asked me out, she would keep talking about it for years. But I kept on telling her everything to be transparent. That might not be the best thing, I think.
If I'm like, oh my gosh, like I talked to you,
Yeah.
babe, like what the heck, like I talked to you.
Yeah. And then I keep saying like, oh yeah, another guy talked to me and another guy talked to me, even though I'm turning him down. That might, you know what I mean?
I'm going a totally different route here.
I think, yeah.
I think it's a little bit much on her end.
Well,
I don't know
absolutely.
if someone hit on me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
My father and brother were both serial cheaters, and it had imprinted in my mind never to be unfaithful to her or leave her and to make it work no matter what. She would always pick a fight with me once or twice every month. Then she would say sorry and make up. Now that I think about it, I'm surprised I survived med school because I didn't do a single exam with proper peace of mind. Oh man. She didn't have any close friends, and she wasn't close with her family and cousins. She made me the center of her universe. And I encouraged her to go out with her friends and be close to them, but she wasn't interested. There's one other topic that she fought with me over and over again. She would ask me who I loved the most, her or my mother.
Love this one.
Oh no. I always gave her the same answer. You two are the most important people in my life, and I love you both in 2 different ways. But the constant pestering didn't go away. She always wanted me to choose. After about 5 or 6 months from each and every big fight we had, she gaslighted me into believing that I was at fault. And I ended up saying sorry. I didn't pick up on all this until I was 29. So much gaslighting. Oh my gosh.
Dang.
This hurts my heart for OP.
Yeah, this is tough. It's tough to watch.
Yeah. She had a very close relationship with my mother. That was a huge deal for me, or that's what she wanted us to think. But whenever we met her parents, there was nothing but boasting all the time. I've never met anyone that boasts that much, but we always thought Katie would be different from them. Fast forward to the final year of med school, we planned to get married. I wasn't involved in the planning at all. I let them do all the planning. The thing about my mother is that she would tolerate anything for her children. During planning stages, they treated my mother like a personal chauffeur. Keep in mind that Katie and her mother don't work. My mom works in the city. So she would go to work, clock in, do some work, drive back to pick them up, and drive back to the city for wedding shopping. Oh my gosh. Then she'd drop them off at their place and drive back to the city. My mom, bless her heart, didn't complain to me once. She had always thought that she shouldn't muddy my relationships with anyone just because she was treated poorly. I got to know how she was treated from Katie. She was telling me about wedding planning, and I asked how it was going and what they did in the last few days. She, without realizing it, told me how they were dealing with my mother. I told her that that was disrespectful and selfish, how they treated her like a personal chauffeur. Then I told her not to do that, and I told her to apologize to my mother. Then she did. My mother didn't know that I spoke to Katie about it. Things went on, and we had some really bad arguments with wedding planning. Her mother was too demanding about the things that she wanted, and we gave in to almost all of it. The first night after our honeymoon, I was studying since I had a lot to catch up on from the days I missed for my wedding. She came in and said that she wanted to talk to me. Then she told me that she's afraid of me. What? She said that she's afraid that I would physically harm her. What? Where is this coming
I
from?
don't know.
By this point, we've been together for 9 years and I have never even raised my voice at her. When I asked her why she felt that way, she said it's because I'm a guy and I'm physically stronger than her. I asked her if I ever made her feel threatened or unprotected and she said no. I asked if she watched some video on YouTube. She said no. And this really broke me. I felt helpless and alone. I blamed myself for her feeling this way. And I couldn't get it out of my head that the person I love sees me as a threat. I thought that maybe that's because my father was an abuser. I don't think I've cried that much ever in my life. I was in emotional heck for a few weeks. She said she was sorry and told me that she was being honest about what she felt. We rented an apartment after the wedding. Since no one was working, my mother paid the rent and took care of the expenses, while their parents chipped in sometimes for food. Oh my gosh. She doesn't know how to cook, so she would try recipes on the internet and mostly it would come out very bad. But I always ate everything and told her that I really liked it. Oh my gosh. OP. So sweet.
She's probably not even. It's
Like,
just the mom or the.
This is the wife. OP's
She
wife.
might not be cooking these just right, buddy. My hot take. It's not that hard to cook.
Yeah.
It's
like
hard to
you're just
cook?
not trying that hard. I
You
don't know.
You don't
I
really cook.
I don't
but
cook that much.
The meals we have cooked together,
They're very easy. Yeah,
just following instructions.
it's possible.
I'm not buying.
Possible, man. After a few days of living together, she started going through my phone. I didn't say anything. She would take my phone and start going through it and ask me about things that I talked about with my best friend. After a few days of this, I told her that it's not nice that she's reading messages of my friend because he sends me things that he won't be comfortable with my wife knowing. Then she got really pissed and changed the password to her phone. We had the same password and deleted our entire chat from both of our phones. That had about 100,000 messages. It was very sentimental to me. After my graduation, I started working and we were living with my parents and she would leave to her parents' place or tell me to drop her there if I was working nights. She was getting along with my family before the wedding. I don't know if that was all an act. What? When I asked why she leaves like that, she gave me very bizarre reasons that when I asked more about, she would change the story. She wouldn't help around the house or do anything. When I asked if she wanted to work, she said no. We had talked about this before and she seemed passionate and said that she wanted to work. Day by day, she seemed very different, more and more selfish. She wouldn't come out of the room and wouldn't talk to anyone until I got home. She seemed like a different person from what we saw before getting married. One day, I had a long 3 days at work, so I was awake for basically more than 60 hours. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Since I had night duty, she was at her parents' place. I was about to sleep and she asked me to help her with something very, very simple. It was about logging into a website. I have saved the passwords and everything, just needed a few clicks. I told her that I'm sleep deprived and asked her to get her brother since he has a basic knowledge of how things work. She said that no one was home that could help her. I tried to help her over the phone, but she said that she can't and told me to come. Oh my gosh. And I drove there. I was surprised to see everyone was home. When I was logging in, she was on her phone watching YouTube. I told her to pay attention. She shrugged it off. I got really annoyed. I'm annoyed too. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This whole story, it just feels like she's just so controlling and so like manipulative of this man.
Yeah, dude, you wrapped around her finger.
Yeah, and it's
You have
so
to
sad.
Get out of there.
Absolutely. It's so sad because there was some sentence that OP wrote towards the beginning that was something about like, you know, I never wanted to cheat on her and I wanted to make this work no matter what. And I think that's what has been happening through this whole thing. I think
yeah.
he's so scared of just losing her and like
Yeah.
having the relationship not work out that he's not seeing that it's not up to him. It's
Yeah.
just not working out anyway.
Sometimes when the glass falls, you just gotta leave it in a million pieces.
Yeah.
You don't have to fix it all the time.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That is so sad. So sad. I drove back and looking back, it was a miracle I'm still alive and didn't fall asleep at the wheel. I realized that she has taken me for granted and I'm the only one giving. And she's just gotten used to it. But I endured everything. I wanted to make my marriage work. After some time of this routine, I asked her again why she's always going to her parents' place. She gave the usual answers and I kept on digging, asking her to clarify and pressed her on it. And she suddenly said that she wants a divorce. I stopped the argument. What?
Wow.
What? That is so random. Then after things cooled down, I asked her if she really wants a divorce. She said no and that she's sorry. Then I told her that it's not a word to be taken lightly. She agreed not to use it if she doesn't mean it. And you should always agree to go look for full episodes of stories just like this one. Just go to iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever your favorite podcast app is, and search OK Storytime. You better promise. It's not something we take very lightly.
Mm-mm-mm.
And there is a little bit more to the story, but this is just so sad. I really hope they break up.
Yeah.
I
Me
hope
too.
he gets out of there.
This is really tough to be taken for granted. And, I will serve you. However, it is good to serve your wife.
Yeah.
But to a point, man, you gotta watch yourself. You driving back and you almost didn't make it back, bro.
Come on. It's your safety. Your safety is literally involved just because she wanted to get into a website and didn't even want to learn how to do it herself.
I bet you didn't even use the website afterwards.
Me too. I bet. But there is a little bit more to the story. After that, whenever we talked about this subject, she would use the phrase, I want to stop this, instead of divorce, so that I would stop asking her questions. To this day, I have no idea why she's leaving the house we live in. She would either use this strategy or she would bring me a bottle of poison and ask me if she'd pass away if she drank that. I was emotionally manipulated and traumatized like this by her so many times. One day when she said, let's stop this, I said, okay. Let's do that. Then I told her that I'm done with being treated this way and her selfish behaviors. So am I the a-hole for proceeding with the divorce and not listening to her pleadings and apologizing? Whoa!
Absolutely not.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, you gotta look out for number one,
Yes.
yourself.
Yes.
And it does not seem like she respects you or loves you enough to care about you. She seems very selfish.
Yep.
Self-centered.
Yep.
Dude, you're good.
You're
Just get out of
good.
there.
Get out of there. Yeah, honestly, he's realized now that she's been manipulating him and it's been traumatizing him this whole time. Great. That's the first step is awareness.
Yep.
In literally any situation. So now that you know that, you can't go back. And if she's been doing this the entire relationship, she's not going to change.
No.
She's not going to change. She has had the opportunity to change and it's not going to happen. So
it sounds like
get
you
out of there.
tried to make a lot of healthy steps. She's just like, divorce. I want to stop this. I'm going to do something. She's avoiding it. She's avoiding hard conversations.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So definitely not the a-hole. Get the F out of there, please. But yeah, is that the end of...
That's the end of the story.
My father-in-law accused me of stealing, and my wife believed him?
You should get out of that family.
Yeah, you should. My 27 female, wife 29 female, and I aren't in a good place. It's not a fun feeling. I feel the context is important here. We're college sweethearts married for 6 years and have a daughter, 4 female. Our constant hurdle is family. It's like having to validate our relationship. I always thought that my wife was worth it, though. I haven't felt for anyone else the way I do about her. By the way, this comes from Throwaway Tsukima Road. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. Now, my wife's family is very old school. They're conservatives in their beliefs and values. My father-in-law, 59 male, is treated as the captain and looked to as the head.
Got a little C family over there.
Yarg. My relationship with him was never smooth, not from my lack of trying. Him putting up with me only came after my daughter. I don't believe he's ever thought I was good enough for his daughter. I wasn't his first choice or even in his top 5. I don't share their gated community or their fancy school backgrounds. My father-in-law always had some backhanded remark about my upbringing. During a family gathering at my in-laws last Christmas, my father-in-law's iPad went missing. He blew a fuse and accused me of stealing it. His reasoning was there was a period of time I was alone in the house. I was never actually alone in the house. I was helping my mother-in-law, 58 female, in the kitchen because people were punting back their feet and she was slaving away working for a big family. There was no reasoning with him. He called the police and actually told the officers how a real man would own up when caught, but I was never taught to be a man.
Dang.
Another backhanded remark.
I'm sorry, he called the police?
Yes, on his son-in-law.
Oh my.
I was raised in a household of women. My father-in-law expressed once that only a man can raise a boy into a man. Incorrect. I spoke up for myself during his rantings. The whole situation was humiliating, but I had nothing to hide. The officers had to de-escalate and stood around everyone until everyone went their separate ways. My father-in-law did a smear campaign on social media accusing me of theft and saying how I wasn't family. Some real vicious stuff was said. It impacted my life and I lost a job opportunity because his posts came up in the vetting process.
Oh, because he had posted all of the stuff about theft?
Yeah, and it's I guess make a background check or something.
Yeah, they're like, he's
posts
a
about
thief.
OP, and it's like, oh, he's an iPad thief.
Specifically an iPad thief in
Wow.
the local area.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I feel like that would be a really big conversation with the wife.
Where's the wife?
Yeah, what's she doing? She's like, I don't know. You do kind of have a shifty way about you.
What's our rule,
Coulda stolen
Sophia?
it.
What is
Stand up for your partners if your family's attacking them.
That is 100%
unless
correct.
they suck, in which case choose a
Feed
better
him to the
partner.
wolves.
Yeah.
The company was rebranding and didn't want drama associated. That's why he lost the job. Essentially, I was shunned from the family. There were those who didn't agree with my father-in-law, but they wanted to stay out of it. No one wanted to cross him. I was no longer welcomed on my in-laws' property until I confessed and apologized. Wow. My wife still attending everything without me and took our daughter with her even on New Year's Eve. I wanted to spend it with her and our daughter on New Year's Eve, but she chose to appease her dad and keep tradition. During all of my father-in-law's accusations, the smear campaign, and the shunning, my wife didn't lend me support in any way. She bowed to her dad and would just tell me to apologize. She said that I was being stubborn by refusing. It wasn't about apologizing. My father-in-law wanted me to beg. I am not a prideful person, but I'm not getting on my knees and pleading for forgiveness for something I didn't commit.
Yeah. You don't have anything to apologize for. Did we ever find the iPad?
Where is this iPad?
Where is the iPad?
Please, someone get Find My iPhone up on this old
Yeah.
man's laptop
Find his iPad,
and click
man.
Find. Please, please,
Oh my
somebody.
goodness.
My wife said that she was only trying to keep the peace instead of being right. No. Once my father-in-law badmouthed me around our daughter and my wife never spoke up. She claimed she didn't hear him. I don't believe she would have done anything either way. Our daughter kept me afloat. I put my foot down on her attending gatherings after the badmouthing. My wife accused me of escalating by withholding our daughter. I felt my father-in-law tried to influence my child against me. My move was for boundaries. Yes, I wasn't asking my wife to cut off her dad. I know how important family is to her, but we're married. We have a child. We made vows. I only wanted her to be there for me as my partner and best friend. She abandoned me. I had more support from my mother-in-law and sister-in-law, 35 female, than I ever did from her. We fought a lot. We pushed to a new level of argument. I held everything in and we'd blow up. My wife said she dealt with her dad her whole life and she learned sometimes it was better to just yield. But about a month ago, my name was cleared.
We finally found the iPad?
We have Scooby-Dooed the situation.
They were like, my name was cleared. The iPad was in their closet the whole time.
Are we ready for the grand
I'm ready,
reveal? Okay.
please.
My sister-in-law found the iPad in her son's 9 male's room.
Thief! Burn the son. Are we going to smear the son and take away all of his job opportunities?
He's going up for hall monitor, but they're like, we just saw a social media post that said you're an iPad thief.
Ay, ay, ay.
Not today.
Your career is done. You're never going to get anywhere in this town, 9-year-old.
Golly. But he's got an iPad.
Yeah, you'll be working with Jimmy at the grocery store for the rest of your life.
Growing a sweet mustache.
Yeah.
He confessed to taking it. He was afraid to say anything after my father-in-law's reaction to me. My father-in-law has never apologized or publicly recanted. He acts like nothing happened and the rest of the family followed suit. He had my mother-in-law relay that I was welcome to their home again. Others began inviting me to functions and I've declined for myself and my daughter. I'm not holding grudges or using my daughter as a punishment. I saw who my father was clearly. I don't want any involvement with him unless necessary, nor is my daughter allowed to have unsupervised visits with him. I don't want her exposed to the ugliness. The situation remains a sore on my marriage. My wife won't talk about it. If I try, she says I'm throwing the past in her face. I'm just trying to open up to her about how everything still affects me. She feels I'm not working towards keeping the peace. My father-in-law falsely accused me of theft, led a smear campaign, badmouthed me around our daughter, and was enabled by some family. This is me keeping the peace. I mean, the levels of not crossing any lines that Opie has done is insane. Opie is truly just saying like, hey, I didn't steal the iPad. I don't want to grovel at your feet like a jester.
I'm not going to apologize or do any, like, it's over.
Yeah.
Your son stole it. Just apologize to me and move on.
Is this divorce territory?
I think this is like a lot of therapy first.
Yes,
Because they got a kid.
indeed.
And then if it's like, oh, we still can't get past, I don't know, your family trying to get between us and you're not going to ever stand up for me, then it's not going to work.
I feel it's like a useful tool for the wife
Yeah.
to be able to, like, you know, in her favor. But like, what if any of this turns against her? You know, I feel like it would be very valuable for obviously their partnership and for her to, it's like, hey, do you see what's happening and like what your father-in-law is doing? And it's crazy.
It is crazy.
I don't know if this post is the right call. My wife wouldn't approve, but there's no talking to her about this in any real way. I'm lost. We've never been so disconnected. I'm in love with her. I wouldn't have stayed if I wasn't. I want to work on our marriage and do right by our daughter. I don't regret my choice on my father-in-law, but I am questioning if I'm making things worse. I feel alone, and I need a fresh perspective. How do I move forward as healthily as possible for my marriage when I don't know where to step? What's the answer, Sophia?
I think it's still therapy 1st, and then if that is still not working, then we consider other options. And maybe one of those is divorce.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen.
There it is.
But maybe these relevant commenters won't agree. Okay, because we got some relevant comments for you. But Peter the Great says, this problem is much more simple than you think. You think you're fighting a battle against your father-in-law and can somehow magically win him over and everything will be okay. Your father-in-law is actually an a-hole, but the real problem is that your wife is actually a crappy partner. Quote unquote, keeping the peace is just code for I want you to be the target so I'm not inconvenienced by the conflict. Your marriage is not healthy because your wife is not on your side. She stated quite clearly that she'll go along with her father. You can't change that. You can decide if you want your life to be like this forever. Princess Shira says, same, this is a wife problem. I'm very sorry for what you're going through with the situation. It sounds horrible. An invalid programmer says, this is also a mother problem. She let this affect her daughter. OP, do you really want your daughter to learn that your father-in-law or wife's behavior is correct? You need to set a hard boundary. Your wife needs therapy and to set boundaries with her dad or cut him off. What happens if your father-in-law accuses your daughter of something? Just go along and don't rock the boat. Or what if he accuses you of something again? This isn't about you working on the marriage. Your wife needs to. But I mean, I feel like that's, yeah.
The problem is in part the family.
Yes.
But it is also, the root of it is that your wife isn't standing up for you.
In a way, it's like not that OP is the problem, but he kind of bears responsibility of working together.
I mean, like in every relationship, if someone is doing something that you don't like or not, fulfilling their end of or their side of the relationship, then you can either, leave them or try and make it work.
Yes.
And if OP wants to try and make it work, then he has to come and like actively participate in the fixing process.
100%. EJ 1004 says, I'm going to be honest. You are fighting for a relationship with a woman who doesn't care about you. I know it will hurt, but it's in your own best interest to two-card her here. Counseling or divorce. I guess that's a thing.
Seems a little ultimatum-y.
Two options. Yeah, right. You can find a situation she doesn't care to solve by herself, and you can't stay in a relationship where your wife is fine with her family demeaning and excluding you without apology. Wife, things haven't been good for a while now. You've chosen your family over your family unit. You did nothing to defend me against your family, and you want me, the wronged party, to forgive and forget when an apology was never even offered. I'm willing to fight for our relationship, but I'm not willing to rug sweep anything. Let's be honest, your father has never liked me, and if a situation like this happens again, as our marriage currently stands, we won't make it through. I would have never let my own family sit there and treat you this way that your family has treated me. I would have never allowed them access to our child while they were talking about you behind their back. The past few months have been difficult. I've been fighting a battle with your family as you did nothing to support me during that time. And your ask that I take hits I didn't earn or deserve to keep the family's peace demonstrated how little you care for me. I'm not apologizing to your family as I did nothing wrong. And if they want a rug sweep, I'm perfectly fine not having a relationship with them. As for our relationship, I've talked to a divorce attorney and a marriage counselor. Think it over twice and decide which path you want to take, because I want a partner in life, and your actions these past few months have shown me that I don't have one.
Dang, was that a commenter?
Yes. That was like they just wrote a whole monologue.
They're like, here, read this script.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah. I mean, to your point you just made, I'm like, I feel like you don't have to be like, there are two paths. It is either this. It's like, hey, do you want marriage counseling? And then they're like, no, that's da da da. And they're like, here's what I feel. And they're like, oh no, it's like, okay, then you have your answer.
Yeah. Well, then it's like, okay, well, I feel like the relationship isn't working the way that it's going right now.
Yeah.
And either we fix it or we don't do anything, and it probably will go down this path.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
That's it. Doesn't have to be an ultimatum, ladies and gentlemen. And we have an update. I, 27 male, want to thank everyone for the support. I appreciate it. The original post was the first time I put everything out there, and I didn't feel dismissed. The situation with my father-in-law, 59 male, was extensive and largely unaddressed by my wife, 29 female. It occurred to me that not being able to open up to her, I didn't know how to communicate with her anymore. The feedback I received was a real eye-opener. My issue isn't isolated to my father-in-law. This isn't solely a spat with my in-laws. It's an issue involving my wife. Things with my father-in-law are what they are. I'm not seeking a deeper connection with him. We're in-laws, nothing more, nothing less. And he made it abundantly clear in his smear campaign that I wasn't family, but a hurdle the family needed to overcome.
And I'm also being reminded of the ages. There might be some kind of thoughts that the father had because they have a 4-year-old daughter, so he was probably like 23 at the time when they got together, and she was 25, and then they have a kid, so he might have had some thoughts about how young they were, and like that might have changed how he saw OP as well.
Yeah. It kind of sounds like he's like, oh, my daughter deserves the best. So if she's shacking up and having a baby with a 23-year-old guy, it's like, okay, yeah, I'm not like,
oh, he
Mr.
probably
McRich.
doesn't have a job. Yeah.
My concern is my wife and our daughter, 4 female. They're my family. They're my focus. That said, I realize I can't make my wife do anything. I can't make her communicate with me. I can't make her instill boundaries with her dad. I only have a say for myself and our daughter. I know something needs to change. Our marriage can't be sustained this way. It's not good for anyone, especially our daughter. After getting my feelings out, I felt more resolved with what I needed to do. I told my wife about the original post. She's seen it and some comments. She wasn't thrilled, but to her credit, she didn't automatically shut me down like usual. She was open to hearing what I had to say. I don't know if ultimatum is the right term because I wasn't trying to force her to choose anything. I'm just trying to implement boundaries for our daughter and our marriage. I told her that things needed to change because our marriage couldn't survive like this. No one should feel alone or abandon their marriage. The options were either couples therapy or separation. She didn't take the separation well. She seemed repulsed by it. She said she knew we weren't in a good place, but she didn't realize that's where I was at and how we made vows and our bond is supposed to withstand.
But that's like the whole point. That's the whole point.
The whole
you
thing.
made vows.
Yes.
And you're not upholding them.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Like, don't you think it's like, hey, maybe I should try to be the best partner I can? That's really all it is. It's like, just try to be the best partner you can. And it's like, hey, you're not doing that.
You ain't
so well.
doing that.
Come on. She feels her dad shouldn't take away from us. I told her I wasn't taking separation lightly. Our vows do mean something, but whether she admits it or not, she checked out on our vows in favor of her dad. It wasn't keeping the peace. It was me drowning while she was on her dad's boat and never tossed me a line. What a powerful metaphor. Our issues are bigger than just her dad. Our current way isn't. My wife chose therapy. We found a therapist and it's officially scheduled. I want to be hopeful, but that's not something I've let myself feel for a bit now. I don't believe she was only telling me what she thought I wanted to hear. I saw the reality of it hit her when separation was put on the table. I asked her if MC was something she really wanted. Marriage counseling. I asked,
do you really want to be an MC?
Do you really want to throw down? I'm not talking about the sometimes it's better to yield thing she said about her dad or for keeping the peace. I was asking what she genuinely wanted. She said it was, and that she doesn't want to lose our relationship or our family. Some have questioned why I'd want to try working on my marriage. It's not about staying for our daughter. I want to make a real attempt for my family and see if things can be mended. I know there's more to my wife than just my father-in-law. I fell in love with her because of who she was as a person. When we met and got to know each other, it was away from her dad. I saw how caring she was for others, even if she didn't agree with their POV, how decent she was, how she had a weight off her shoulders with distance from her dad's shadow. My wife is the youngest of her siblings, and I would say my in-laws hold on to her more tightly. I didn't know how bad things were until I actually dealt with my father-in-law. It's why she chose long-distance school and didn't come home on breaks often. Her work moved us closer to home, and she was back into the fold fully. My father-in-law's smear campaign was our first major obstacle following that. I'm in love with my wife, but I'm not speaking out of blind love. Whether we're together or not, I want the best for her. Part of my hope for marriage counseling is that she regains sight of herself separate from what her dad sees, that boundaries for herself aren't crossing a line, and maybe we can recover together and come out better for it. I know we got married a little young. Trust me, we've heard our fair share from the skeptics, but I always was sure of my wife. Marriage wasn't something I took lightly. I didn't expect there to be nothing but clear skies, but we should want more from each other. Being there for each other and emotional intimacy are the bare minimum. We should be a team. Our family is the core before any relationship. And to me, our vows mean consciously choosing each other and committing to each other, even when it's hard. By the way,
What?
you know what is never hard, Sophia?
What?
Pulling out your phone and searching OK Storytime on Spotify, Apple, or iHeart. Sophia, I said it wasn't hard, so where's the phone? Where is it?
It's in the phone box.
It's in the phone box.
It's a little hard to go get.
If you had the passion that our amazing viewers had to find our podcast, it would happen. So check out the podcast. But any closing thoughts before we get into this
It
last
seems
part
like somewhat hopeful note to end on. It seems like she's at least more aware of the severity of the situation.
Yeah.
Because it seems like she was just like, I can not stand up for my partner and everything will be fine if I just toe the line between my partner and my family.
Yeah.
But it also seems like she has a history of not being able to stand up to her dad and tried to get away from that, but it came back.
Daddy's still home.
Yeah. So just having conversations with her about that and saying you just act differently around your family. And I want you to be more like confident and more willing to stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I imagine, if she was staying away from home, it was like there was something about that behavior that,
She didn't
felt
like.
very, that she didn't like, which is totally, I mean, the stuff that this father-in-law has done is insane. Bad father-in-law. Bad. But we've got the conclusion to this saga. So I don't know what marriage counseling is going to bring. It'll be my first experience with therapy, and all I can do is take everything one step at a time and reaffirm boundaries for myself and daughter. I'm not withholding my daughter's punishment or holding grudges. I don't even want an apology from my father-in-law because I know it'll be empty. I'm just done giving him any more power. I'm protecting my daughter too.
Yeah.
To those who haven't experienced something like this, I hope you never will. And for those in a similar struggle, I hope for nothing but the best for you. You're not alone. Thank you for showing me that I'm not either. That's that.
That's that, man. That was nice.
Yeah, I think, I love seeing OP grow and basically be like, no, standing on his self-worth. Like,
Yeah.
I don't deserve this.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a really important aspect of relationships is standing up for yourself. Because if you can't stand up for yourself and you let everyone walk over you, it's not going to be a healthy relationship either.
That is exactly correct. And the wife seemed like she was beginning the crescent of getting there.
I agree.
It seems.
I agree. A little bit more receptive.
A little bit more. But there's no more of this story.
There's no more of this story. I want to leave my nightmare marriage, but she refuses to let go.
She's got you in the vice grip.
I've never really been an outgoing guy, but I've been content with being myself. Always liked reading books, playing music, computer games, and all those other stuff where you can lose yourself to something. This is probably why I've only been in one relationship before the one I am in now, and I really regret ever getting together with the woman who I am now married to. Bum, bum, bum. By the way, this comes from Sad Mr. Guy.
Oh, what a sad Mr.
Aw.
Guy.
And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, when I look back at it now, I can see that it really started as soon as we got together. I think it was the third day or something like that when she wanted to have a quickie. Apparently, I didn't know how to have a quickie. As when I was playing with her front airbag, suddenly she just tells me to stop. That this wasn't a quickie. That I was taking too long. And now she didn't want it anymore.
Ain't that always how it goes?
Oh, man. 2 days after that, after almost having a spicy sleep again, she told me that I wasn't much of a man. I think I just blamed it on me being inexperienced and that her behavior was just to be expected. Is it? I also told myself that it would get better. Well, of course it got better. Had spicy sleep, did fun things together and all that. Then, after a few months, there was a problem with a new common person in her life that she really, really started to hate. I tried explaining to her why I thought he did the things he did, and then she got furious with me, called me names, and ended it all with telling me that I should go and F him in the butt if I liked him that much.
Wow, this girl sounds like a real catch.
She sounds like a doll.
Yeah, a doll that has burning eyes made out of fire.
Yes, possessed doll. I don't remember what I did after that, but afterwards I didn't dare talk against her when she started talking about that guy. I didn't dare speak against my girlfriend. She's dangerous. It is a bit fuzzy what happened after that, but a few weeks before Christmas, I had been feeling really bad about our relationship. And one morning she woke up and was furious that she didn't get to train, as I had promised to wake up early and go with her, but I didn't. Of course, I know that I should have done as I promised. Oh, but I
Yes.
just remember the way she said that she didn't train because of me. After this, she went to class and pretty much commanded me what to do while she was gone. Nothing of this sounds really bad when I type it, but at the time and all things put together, it just made me flee the place. No, it does sound bad. What are you talking about? He's like, none of this sounds bad, I suppose.
This is is this his first girlfriend?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a problem, buddy.
And I ended up back at my place crying. Ugh. After a while, she called me and I went back to her place. Just 1 or 2 days before Christmas, I had been at my place wrapping Christmas presents, and on my way back to her place, I got this idea that I should buy her some flowers I did this in a grocery store nearby and was in a hurry, so I didn't really look at what I bought. Just took some Christmas arrangements that they had. Some white flowers, a little green around, and not at all fresh, which I didn't see. I guess I should have taken my time to look at what I was buying, but I didn't. When I gave them to her, she started shouting and screaming at me. They were, first of all, 2 white flowers and pears, and white is what you should give to the passed away. And also the flowers weren't fresh. I don't remember if they were like brown or passed away already, but we put them in a vase afterwards. Of course, I can understand that she was upset, but she just continued and continued and continued until I started crying, put on my shoes, and left.
I see you.
My guy. Do not settle for the first person you meet and ignore all of the red flags.
Yes.
That's the thing here. Because, like, maybe the first person you meet is amazing and, like, perfect, and that's great.
But that's the
But
problem.
maybe the first person you meet kind of sucks. And you're like, well, there's no one else out there.
You don't know how bad people suck until you meet more people.
Don't settle.
You gotta get out there and see other people being, so you know when people are being monstrous towards you, or when they're being good. Oh yeah, wait. By the way, my ICU is that she's cheating. Easy.
Yeah.
She literally said you're not much of a man.
Yeah.
And is now trying to get you to leave her.
Yeah. After walking around a bit, I returned, and then I guess we did something, and I don't really remember Christmas. There are a lot of other situations like this, but I can't write all of them because no one is going to have the patience to read it all. But then when we'd been together for a little more than a year, I proposed to her. Broke up for a few hours a week later. Got married when we'd been together for 2 years, and now that is almost a year ago.
As is custom.
For all of these 3 years, I had heard so many things about how I do things wrong, how I make her feel miserable, how I'm not by her side, that I don't have any ambition, that I don't do anything that is fun, that I don't fight for us, I'm not romantic, how lazy I make her, that she's starting to become unambitious like me. And I guess a lot of it is true.
Oof, buddy, stop.
OP has zero self-confidence. I like to socialize, but not really go to social gatherings and meet new people. I make stupid things. I don't really have any ambition. No, me in 10 years. I'm not a romantic kind of guy that comes up with fun, impulsive things. But some of it just makes me furious to think about. It's not that I'm not by her side. It's that she does and says things I don't like, or brings up things I think are private and expects me to agree with her and be supportive. Instead, I get really defensive, which I know is horrible of me, and try to make it sound not as bad as I think she makes it sound. Sometimes I think I manage to be by her side, but then afterwards I get to hear how it really was. The thing that she feels that she is lazy and has started to be like me. I don't even know what to say about that. You get affected by the people around you, so maybe I do that. And of course, there have been a lot of good times also, and there is a very likable, awesome girl that I am married to. But all this other stuff is slowly eroding me away. A week ago, I broke down, or however I should explain it. We had been away from each other for a week, only chatted over the internet, and I had started to feel really bad. She had been telling me that I yet again was not fighting for her, and had really never done it. We were friends before we were a couple and didn't ever really date. It all ended with her telling me as a joke, she told me later, not a joke, but not entirely serious, that we were now divorced. And I, who wanted to show what a man I was, said, good, now I can fight for you and win you back.
Yeah, I think you're not ready for marriage.
Oh, no.
And
And
you
you're
might not
married.
even be ready for dating, brother.
Oh,
You gotta
work on yourself, my guy.
You gotta find a core that you know is just you. It belongs to
Yeah.
you, and it's you, and you can lean on yourself.
Yeah.
She
I
can't
mean,
do
she's
that right
probably,
now.
you probably like reading and playing games and,
It's
what is
fine,
music,
dude.
and she's probably criticizing that all
Yes.
the time, if
It's
that's how you're talking about it.
It's fine for you to like those things. They are fine things to
Those
like.
are normal things to like. Then I just started crying, scream crying that I didn't even know that you could do. And afterwards, I didn't answer the phone, logged out of all ways of communicating with me, and only called her 3 days later when she had gotten really scared and called the police, which went and found me. I know that this is one of the most horrible things I have ever done to a person, And I can't imagine what it has to feel like to not be able to get in touch with your spouse with no word of what is going on. I knew that she was probably scared for me, but still didn't answer for 3 whole days.
Fine by me.
Wow. Now I've started talking to her again and planned to fly and be with her and everything was going to be all right. Dude, if you had to run away for 3 days without talking to her, everything is not all right.
Where are your mentors? Where are your support systems, dude?
I don't know if OP has a support system.
There needs to be. You need that. You need a person in your life who can be like, "Hey, this is bad. This is wrong.
Yeah.
This is not how this is supposed to make you feel."
Now I've started talking to her again, planned to fly and be with her. But tonight, when I called her on the phone, I got a very thorough explanation of how angry she was that I just disappeared like that. How bad and immature it is to do something like that. And that you can't just let things go when you are a grown-up, which I understand. You have to be strong, have to work for the things you want. Then she told me how a real parent has to physically get rid of that behavior. Like,
With a spanking.
out of their kids. And this is probably why I behave the way I do. That you have to hit them so they feel the real pain. Oh my God, don't have kids with this woman. And know that emotional pain is just not something to listen to. That if my upbringing had been better like hers, ooh, yikes, that's not a good sign.
Yeah, it's almost as if we're getting a constant feed of information that this woman is no good with her behavior.
Yeah, it's almost like she's got a little bit of a generational trauma. So after that, I think I told her I couldn't talk anymore, couldn't take it, and hung up. When she called a little while after, I answered, as I don't want to just disappear again, and actually managed to tell her kind of the story I wrote her now. She laughed about the part with the flowers because they were really passed away, don't you remember? I don't remember what I said later, but I hung up. I also logged out of everything again and turned off the phone. Tried to find someone to call, like a psychologist, but I guess they work normal hours. So I thought I could actually write it down, and I have to say that it feels good to just have done that. Is there anyone who has had some similar story? How do I actually manage to not get back together with her and instead get a divorce?
Has anyone else dated the worst woman ever?
Has anyone else dated the devil? And how do I leave her? How do I get out of this? You just go.
You need a circle of salt. Talk to your local parishioners, and maybe you can get some holy water on the low from somebody, and just like stand in that circle and throw that water, and say, "Be gone."
I really don't think I can live like this, but why haven't I just left her already? I just feel effing stupid. How do I know if I make stupid things in relationships? There are probably a lot of things she's told me that are true and that I ought to stop doing, but I have no idea how to know what is what. I never really ask people how their relationships are like, but only see them from outside. How is it actually? You can't be nice with each other all the time. What do you do when you disagree? If you really, really hurt each other, what do you do? Can you hurt someone without wanting to?
How are you married, my guy? I'm sorry. Look.
That's so sad.
God, it gives that same energy
so
of like
sad.
I can't do another Charlie and the Chocolate Factory reference. I got to do something else. It's like the kid staring and standing in front of like the TVs in the window, and he's like, "I wish I had one of those in my house."
It's like when Harry's standing in front of the Nimbus 2000.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, wait, no, not even Harry. All those other kids who are like, Nimbus 2000. I heard it's the fastest broom on the market. That's OP, and he's like, wow, a healthy relationship. I'll never have that with my wife.
Yeah, we just live under the stairs.
Oh, youch. Youch, youch, youch. But there is an update. Okay.
Who let this man get married? I'm sorry, but like you were
Does
not ready.
Have anyone in his life? He hasn't mentioned anyone. He hasn't mentioned a family member, friends.
Even a mentor, bro. Like,
nothing.
Come on, like anyone.
Like, this is sad. He needs a therapist.
A
ASAP.
friend. Man.
It has now been over 3 weeks since I decided to divorce my wife. I have solved all or most of the practical matters. I've talked to a lawyer that will handle the legal parts, moved all my stuff, and almost found a therapist to talk to. I have not spoken to my soon-to-be ex-wife, only sent her 2 emails. One about that I want to get a divorce, and one with how to solve some practical matters. I can understand that this isn't enough for her. And she's tried to call a bunch of times, sends texts, messages me on Facebook, and sends emails. All because she wants to talk to me and I guess get back together. Now she wants to meet me face to face, and I'm terrified of meeting her again. The situation is as follows. I'm from country A in Europe, and she's from country B.
All right, it's Albania and Belarus. Let's go.
We both studied at the same university in country A and have an apartment there. I got a job in country C,
Croatia.
where the company fixed an apartment for the first few months, and me and my son, soon-to-be ex, lived there. 5 weeks ago, she went back to country B for medical reasons because it was easier for her to get a doctor there. So when I decided that I couldn't live like this anymore and wanted a divorce, I was in country C, she's in country B. I then went back to country A to get the divorce and move out my stuff from our apartment there. Now she's back in country C, and I've been told by my colleagues that she's going to stay there until I get back so she can meet me there. My flight there is in a few days. I can't really sleep, and I even had a nightmare about her last night. I was in some house, knew that she was searching for me, and I just tried to hide and was scared as heck until I woke up. What do I do? If it was up to me, I would never ever meet her again. I don't want to have her affect how I behave and hide from her, but I have no idea what will happen if I meet her, and that scares the crap out of me. Is it possible to just cut someone out like this if I have to meet her? How do I handle it? If there's any chance that you think that you're going to fall back into, a relationship with her or anything if you meet up with her, do everything virtually. Have a lawyer handle everything, If you think that is going to be detrimental to your mental health to go meet her and have this conversation in person, don't do it. I wouldn't recommend this for everyone. For most people, I think conversation in person is great. For you, I don't think you're ready for it.
Well, I think if you're in an active divorce situation, I would just don't talk to her. Lawyer. Now, if I were to give you the funny answer,
yes,
my funny answer would be meet up with her and speak only in Simlish until she leaves. Yeah, the fake language all the Sims say. They iglor ublaflaf. And then she goes, what? And you go, iglor uflaflaf.
And then she goes, what are you talking about?
And you go, iplaf shimulorflaf.
And then you go, sorry, I'm speaking Blair. Update 2. I read all of your advice in the previous post, and thank you for your answers. Last weekend, I met some friends and family. OP does have friends and family. Where have they been this whole time? First off, my ex's bank card is just expired, and of course, the new one is in country A. And of course, she couldn't leave country C before she got it, even with a full tank of gas and lots of cash. I brought it with me anyways. It was hers, and if it meant she would leave, I was happy to bring it. I told her that someone would bring it to her on Monday and hoped that this would mean that I wouldn't have to see her. Well, that was wrong. When I arrived at the airport in the town I was working in, she was standing there, a huge smile on her face, all dressed up, welcoming me back. I don't remember exactly what I said, but I immediately handed her her bank card, said something about how I didn't want to speak to her or anything at all. She continued by hugging me, talking a lot about how we should get together, talk about it, solve it together. You get the picture. I was quite panicky at this moment as I was waiting for my luggage and didn't want to just leave it there. I tried to walk outside, but she followed me. I tried to tell her to stop following me, but she wouldn't. It all ended up with me going to the employees of the company I was flying with and asking if I could hide with them. Sounds quite silly when you write about it like this, but I was terrified. Aw. This is so sad because Opie's obviously in this terrible relationship that has just broken him down completely to the point where he's scared of his wife.
I'd be scared of her too, probably, from the sounds of it.
I mean, she sounds very emotionally abusive.
Silver lining, though, is that this can all be over now.
Yes.
Right? It's like you will be changed and affected by it, but you can go on your upswing now.
Exactly.
That's what's important.
The employees were really nice and helpful, though, got my luggage for me and told me where I could find a taxi. After getting into the taxi, my lovely ex-wife stopped the taxi, talked in through the window, and asked something like, "Are you 100% sure that you want to end our marriage over a misunderstanding?"
No, he actually fully understands now.
Oh, boy.
He was misunderstanding.
Everything before.
Right, that you were good.
I still don't know what she meant, but I told her yes, and then told the taxi driver to drive me away from there. I ended up sleeping over at a friend's place that night as I didn't want to be alone in a new apartment. The next day, Tuesday, went okay. I went to work and started getting back into it. Oh, it was through some coworkers. My ex told me that she needed some pictures on my computer, and sure, I could give them to her. I found some USB sticks and moved the things she wanted to them. I also had some papers that she was going to get. I didn't give them to her, but an employee at my company was going to go meet up with her the next day and solve some other stuff. My ex was still living in the company apartment, and as my employers are way too nice, she could stay there the whole week out. Everything was quite nice until Wednesday afternoon, when I had just gotten home from work. My ex started knocking on my door, wanting to meet, talk, and also because I hadn't given her all the files that she wanted. Now, for most of us, the last thing could be solved by sending stuff over the internet, but apparently not with her. When I heard her outside, all I did was quietly sit down on my chair and sat there until she left. Then I covered all the windows and just hid. I think I watched a movie. But here's when it gets insane.
What?
None of that was insane before. Here is where it gets insane.
What are we talking about?
She calls the police, who arrive at my apartment and ask if everything's all right. They also say that my ex wants the keys to our apartment in Country A, and I tell them that I don't have them here, but a friend in Country A has them, which she knows. She also wanted some other things that I don't have. I invited the police in, and they were quite concerned with how my hideout apartment looked like, and I agree with them.
Oh God, his apartment looks like Howard Hughes has been holed up in there.
Yeah, he's got like bars on the windows, and the curtains are all drawn.
He's got mysterious jars full of mysterious liquids.
They asked questions about how I was feeling and if I wanted to go see a doctor right now. But I told them that I was going to see one the next day and that I get a lot of support from the company. I think this was when one of the officers went over to my ex and asked her to write down what it was that I have that is hers. After he got back, the paper basically said some more stuff on my computer, stuff I don't have, and that she wants me or the company to pay her trip back to Country A.
Where did this woman get built?
In the evil factory.
In the evil
factory where they
In
make
the
all the
center of
evil
the earth.
people.
Oh
Oh
my God.
goodness. OP may not have that stuff, but we've got full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left to the story, but do you have any final thoughts?
My parting thoughts would be, how do we prevent these
Yes.
situations from happening?
Big
right?
time therapy, because OP has been truly battered.
Well, yeah, at this point now,
yeah.
moving forward, you're
Yeah.
going to have to break this down in a professional setting.
Yeah.
But to prevent something like this, to anyone else watching this out here who's like, that kind of sounds like my relationship, get out of it.
Get out there. Your
Like-
partner should not be belittling you. You should not be afraid of your partner. You should not be having nightmares about your
Right.
partner.
And that's not your fault. You're not having nightmares about them, and they're not berating you because you're wrong.
No, not at all.
That's,
If you were wrong, that there are ways for them to communicate that in a kind and mature way.
right.
And berating you is not one of them. So be wary of those relationships and the people who from the start are mean to you.
Exactly.
But let's finish this story off. The policeman told me to give the files to her and that she can't demand more things from me after this. They also told me that they are going to tell her to leave me alone, not go around my apartment, try to contact me, or anything not related to the divorce. If anything happens, I should just call the cops and they will take care of it. So she called the police and I got help from them. Nice. But I don't think that's what she expected. After they left, I removed all the covers from my windows and cleaned up the place. The next day, I met a doctor who listened to my story and gave me a referral to a psychologist and counselor.
Good.
I haven't got one yet, but it is on the way.
Nice.
I also put more files on USB sticks, stuff that I thought she already had, and sent them to her. It has been quiet these 2 nights, and we'll see how everything turns out. I don't know what will happen, but everyone around me is helpful, so I believe things are turning around for the better. And that is the end of that story.
I agree, brother. They
I
are
agree.
turning around for the better.
Yeah.
It couldn't get any worse than being married to her.
No.
Unless you were somehow married to 2 of her.
The ball is rolling up, my friend.
Yeah.
You're figuring it out. You've left her.
Dobby is
It's got to
free.
get better. It's got to get better.
Dobby is free.